Monday, my scheduled stream. I probably should schedule it earlier than, I do. And also, I should be a little bit more. So I watched the double T. Yesterday was so weird. It's like everyone, literally everyone that I know started streaming at the same time. But when I checked to see if anyone was streaming, no one was. And then in between me checking to see who was streaming and me actually streaming, everyone was. And then it was like I sat here with like two or three people watching, BSing around with Leth. And then when they quit streaming, that's when everybody showed up over here. But then I was done too, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of here. So what a weird day. It was like, I'll tell you one thing about Restream I like is how it'll make clips for you. And it's so weird because a lot of my live streams do not do very well. Not that I care because I have a lot of fun making them. But some of the clips are hitting up to like 1,000, 2,000 views. It's so wild. And I'm like, one of the most popular clips ever was me and Hungar talking about the fact that Japanese people like eating KFC for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever. That one freaking blew up. I mean, and I'm like, all right. I mean, I like KFC too, so I wouldn't mind eating KFC for Christmas or Thanksgiving, honestly. But other people in my family insist. Was it last or Thanksgiving before we had uh, venison backstrap? It was really good. We had turkey too, but I was more interested in the venison. I am a huge fan. For a large part of my life, the primary meat that I ate was venison, and I would do it. I'd do it again too. The problem is every time my bros up in Kentucky kill a deer, it's like, how do you get it down here? Like freeze it solid and drive it, ship it like overnight. I mean, it's just not really worth dealing with. But when I move up there, man, I'll just start getting my own, fill the freezer. I've got one of those tall freezers that's like bigger than a refrigerator, and I'll just fill that thing up. How you doing, brother?
Your face is bigger than a refrigerator.
Yeah,
How's my brother doing?
pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah,
I still feel like shit, but I'm doing all right.
yeah. Well, yesterday you like left the stream, just vanished into the blue.
I passed out. I went and puked my guts out and then laid down and fell asleep.
Well, I mean, I hope that worked.
So do I.
Eat some crackers, man. Check this thing out. You think I should throw this on you next week?
No.
No?
Unless you want to, then hell, I ain't scared. And we're calling them Caucasians now,
What?
not crackers anymore.
Oh, shut up. I called you last night. I wanted to talk to you about something because I really wasn't really wanting to talk about stuff like on stream and stuff, but you were too sick.
I'm sorry, homie.
Not your fault.
I bought some anchovies and made a pizza for lunch yesterday, and then about an hour later, I'm like, nope.
Well, all I can say is you got what you deserved.
Why? You don't like anchovies?
Yeah, it's like I'm just saying you deserved it. being dumb.
That's not very nice.
I mean, you know what you put on a pizza? Pepperoni.
Pepperoni,
Yeah, that's
mushrooms, sausage, and black olives.
maybe if you're feeling like super freaking like, look at me, I'm getting ready to do a bunch of crazy ass shit. But otherwise, pepperoni.
And mushrooms. Your favorite pizza is pepperoni, sausage, and mushroom.
Yeah, the PMS.
Well, I like to throw some black olives on it.
Well, I mean, a little salty to go with the rest of the salty, I guess. So yeah, man, that was kind of wild last the other night playing the game. You guys
Or a
went
bunch of
from one
pussies.
thing to a whole nother thing pretty quick.
I tell you what, we've got the cowardly list, the biggest cowards ever in our adventuring group.
Well, I mean,
I swear they should just like quit adventuring and become freaking um,
cabbage
scavengers
merchant.
or something, cabbage farmers.
Yeah, I told Shadow in my Hyperborea campaign he's a cabbage farmer, but he
And the rest
exists.
of
He actually exists in the.
cabbage farm.
No, Shadow exists in the Hyperborea game. What's up, Daniel? How you doing, man?
Yeah, Daniel.
But he's a cabbage farmer down
Yeah,
near Comorium.
he exists in the cabbage farm.
Yeah. You know who else exists in my game?
Who?
Conan.
Well, yeah.
And I'm thinking about having H.P. Lovecraft exist in the game too.
Conan exists in all my games.
Well, I mean, only because with Hyperborea, you can do what I said, and it actually can make sense.
In my D&D
Oh, we got a
campaign.
Bubba. What is Bubba? I know Bubba's been working, making a lot of mech Baltech stuff lately.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only little.
Oh, look at that.
He's only
Oh,
little.
oh man,
I got him all week.
he looks like his grandpa. Oh my god.
You know, there's nothing sweeter than the sound of a baby's laughter, unless it's like 3 a.m. and you live alone.
You live alone, yeah. I can't fix that. I'm trying
And
to
then
make
that shit
Or
just,
you're walking through the woods late at night.
yeah, that shit's just terrifying.
Then it's like, oh no. How you doing, Bubba? What's going on, man?
I'm just playing Bob. I can't get that thing fixed. The usual. You usually have a bunch of these heathens.
Well, I've been following with great interest your building of your BattleTech map and all your terrain pieces and stuff. It looks really good.
Yeah, I'm starting on the green. I was gonna start on the green this week, but I've got him and he's full focus. So
Well, he's a youngin.
yeah,
He needs a lot more
I introduced him to
attention.
Yogi Bear and Gumby this morning. He seemed to like that a lot.
Well,
What
that
game you running now, Bubba?
Huh?
What game are you running?
Oh, I'm still running the same. I'm still running the same two Dragon Slayer games. My Thursday games become really hit or miss though.
Which one is Timmy in?
Timmy's in the Monday one.
yeah. Every time he gets on, he's always like, "You'll never guess what happened." He always talks about how much fun he had, and how people died or almost died or whatever.
We haven't
Yeah,
lost.
Timmy ain't go. He ain't going to miss a game. You can count on him to be there. Hell, he showed up once on our game and he wasn't even in the game. He just popped into Discord.
He showed up right as I was in game calling Haas's cleric a fuckhead or something.
He showed up as you was like asking me, "Are you really cutting that dude's ear off?"
Yeah, it was something like that. And he popped in and popped right out.
Hey, wait until you hear my next interrogation method. You take
No.
a really hot rock and you put it on the inside of somebody's knee, and then you like fold their knee up and tie it together.
Yeah.
So their ankles
What are
tattoo
you
their calf.
looking at? And you're like, when you're not talking to me, because stop.
Their legs tattoo their like thigh, and that hot rock is sitting there.
Yeah, stop. Just stop.
It would work.
That's a Arapaho.
I'm a slapaho.
The Arapaho and the Apaches did that to people with the rocks.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, I lost my 7th level cleric in the game I played in. But one of the guys in the groups got a wand of conjuration. He made the force field and it went right through me. I was like, guess I'm making a saving throw versus spells. Teleported random.
Yeah.
Plane shifted to a random plane of existence.
Oh, listen to this dagger that one of my party members got that James decided to give out.
I didn't decide it was there.
Make a saving throw or your soul gets sucked straight to hell.
There you go.
On that.
We got something like that similar. We're playing Arden Vol, and we got the Spear of Arden, and it's a +4 life trainer.
No, this one, if you critical.
This one, you crit, they have to make a saving throw versus death, and if they fail, their soul is drugged straight to hell.
So there's saver
By
die.
demons.
And they cannot be resurrected or reincarnated. They're just gone. It's a dagger.
We've been reading up on some of the spells for Dragon Slayer and overlooked a few things. It's like the opposite of Raise Dead is not Slay Living. It's Repose. Can't be raised.
Yeah.
Screw you. You need a wish now, bitch.
Right? I mean, but yeah, Hungar got his books and started reading up on what clerics could do.
Well, I'm a cleric.
Right. And we're both like, wait, what? Like your cleric spell, whole person lasts for an hour?
And it's only a 2nd level spell.
Dragon Slayer lowered it down. It was like a turn per level in AD&D or 3 turns a level, and now it's like 5 rounds a level, like sleep.
Now it's like an hour.
Yep.
And it affects up to 4 creatures, including giant type creatures.
Well, that's pretty powerful.
It's really well. That's one thing about Hyperborea is a lot of the magic is pretty damn powerful. It's like everything's really powerful and deadly. So, it's like, yeah, you could just die.
Yeah, our scout is on the brink of death every week.
Well, he's a thief and he's got like 18 hit points. So as soon as he gets hit, he's like, I'm dying.
Yeah, where everybody the average party level was 6. After my 7th level cleric got nuked, I get to make a 6th level character pop in.
Well, that's good.
Some pretty average stats, but with 118, it's like I'm playing a wizard with 18 con.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll be a wizard with some badass hit points.
22 plus 5d4 is what I got figured up when I sat down at the table next. So I'm going to drop 5d4 on top of the 22 hit points for max at first, plus all the con bonus.
Right. So that's pretty good. Yeah. That is pretty good.
I didn't have enough stats to make Bruce the Enchanter, but I've been cursed. So I think the DM was kind of like, we got to get rid of the Chaotic Evil Priest. I gave him a cursed ring. He's chaotic evil. He's actually playing it chaotic evil. I keep killing hookers as a hobby and being kind of descriptive about it. And all the guys I play with are evangelicals.
See, if you're going to go that route, you need to go neutral evil. It's just like evil for evil's sake.
What was the wand? I mean, it was the ring, and it let me charm frogs 3 times a day and summon a salamander once a day that had a poisonous bite. And it turned you chaotic evil. So it was pretty sweet. Considering I was playing a priest of Keck, it was pretty awesome. So, yeah, no more froggy love. I got to figure up something different. So
that's a grandpa's baby right there. I can tell.
Oh, he's a good boy. He's my youngest
He,
grandson. Yeah,
he loves Grandpa.
I get him a lot. Where his sister's going through chemo, it's her last week.
Oh,
I get him when she's in chemo, so I have him all week this week.
well,
She
that
should be
sucks,
out.
bro.
Yeah, she had Ewing sarcoma. It's her last week of chemo, and then we'll see what the damage is to her spine and stuff. And then she's a trooper. She handled cancer better than I did, to be honest.
Well, prayer list. That's it.
We yeah, Hungar before you joined was complaining about how he feels like the rest of his group are just a bunch of
Cowards.
Yeah, I heard
cowards because they're afraid to open any door. They're, oh no, we gotta run. Uh
that. I got a few guys like that too, man. They're like big pussies.
No,
And
my whole party is like that.
We had they're going through Ghost Town and Inverness route. I've been taking them through Highfell, and then there's just some random rumors. And there's a town called Inverbaron, and it's referred to in some books as Ghost Tower of Inverbaron. So I'm like, we'll put the Ghost Tower of Inverness up there. They're running towards it.
Here, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, they're
Last
running
week's
towards
game-
Ghost Tower of Inverness. I'm like, all right.
Last week's game, we open up a door and they see it's dark and they see some glowing eyes. So I'm
Yeah.
like, let's go in. And everybody else is like, oh, there's glowing eyes in there. We need to run away. And I'm like, I'm going in. We've got a freaking berserker,
Berserker that's afraid of the dark.
and they didn't want to go in. And I'm like, and I said straight up in the game, I'm like, you guys need to become merchants or farmers or something because you're not brave enough for adventuring lives. And I don't like any of them anyway because they're all subhumans. I'm like the pure blood human from like Fire and Ice, and they're all like the Ice King's humans, the subhumans.
We got a player who will not play human ever. He only plays elves. He says it's a fantasy game. You don't play people. So we got a dwarf, a guy who always plays dwarves, and two guys who pay whatever get the best stat bump for what they're wanting to play. So
well, I'm playing a Hyperborean, and we're the Hyperborean Uber Alice.
Everyone's a human.
Yeah. That's how I do my red setting for space, for Final Frontier. I don't want to deal with all the alien shit. So I'm like, you're all humans. It's Outland / aliens. If you find an alien, we're trying to eat you.
Yeah, it's the race that I'm playing. They're ultra racist.
Well, the Hyperboreans are basically, I think, what Moorcock based Elric on. They're like 7 foot tall with like purple eyes and bone white skin and pale hair, and they kind of hate everyone else but them.
And they live a long time.
Oh yeah, and they live hundreds of years, hundreds and hundreds.
And,
so
and
they will adventure with what they call, the subhumans or the common man, but they look down on them.
And I play my character.
And they can't reproduce with the common man. But Hyperborea is based on a lot of weird shit, like Agartha and all of that. Like their day, so they finally killed the things with the glowing eyeballs, which ended up being troglodytes. And they captured a couple of them and questioned them. And troglodytes told them what was down where they were. So, of course, the whole group decided they had to immediately leave.
Yeah.
Because they were afraid they would run into a Gug.
I was getting tired. The new ostrich.
When did what start? Oh, the stream? 19 minutes ago? They're immune to credit damage. Jeez, Bruce.
That's true.
That's hardcore.
That's hardcore. Bruce, I love you, buddy.
Yeah, how you doing, Bruce?
I'm a little irritated with the Israelis. I don't trust them, but they bombed the shit out of the mausoleum of Simon Peter. It's
Yeah.
my
Yeah. And then they closed down the Holy Sepulchre,
You know,
but
but my
they
thoughts
didn't
on the
close down any
war,
of their sites. But they
my
closed down during like one of the most holy parts of the year.
the holy of holies.
my thoughts on that war over there is I hope both sides lose.
Yeah, we got dragged into it, man. We wanted the sides now. Sucks.
Yeah. So how you doing, Bruce?
Bruce was bragging about my T-shirts yesterday.
Oh, he was wearing one the last time he was on stream.
Yeah, he was wearing one last night too.
But yeah, so Bubba runs Dragon Slayer, which I own the hardbound of it, and it's a great game.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. I would
Hyperborea.
consider running Dragon Slayer or OSC if I were going to run my homebrew campaign for sure. But Hyperborea, I'm just too into the setting right now.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, one, the Hyperborean rules, they're good. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about, just a modified D&D.
Bruce says ETA 10 minutes, and I've got 3 minutes, brother, until I got to
Cool.
bounce.
Yeah, I
So,
got
so the rules are like whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But the
settings.
setting is so cool, and the rules are built around the setting.
Grey Heart.
And I love a setting heavy game.
But if I were to ever take you guys back to Kaliningrad, it would be OSC or Dragon Slayer for sure. To be fair, probably OSC because a lot of you guys like playing advanced classes that I don't think Dragon Slayer has.
Yeah.
You can always tinker with it. That's the joy of it.
Yeah. Well, the OSC classes would work in Dragon Slayer, 100%. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah, the XP is a little lower though. It's quite a bit.
Yeah. So
I did these hybrid classes for Dragon Slayer. The XP and the requirements get up there, and where Raw is you can't multi-class the specialty classes or the hybrid classes. That's one of the things my guys are all crying about. I'm like, well,
I don't like multi-classing anyway. I think
it's
No.
so
Hyperborea has no multi classes, but it does.
it's so rough in Dragon Slayer, man. It is
What
rough.
Hyperborea did is instead of having multi classes, they just have classes that are multi classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of becoming like a fighter mage, you're a warlock,
We're not getting it off the floor now.
and it's its own class. You know what I mean? It's not some combination. But if you play any of the combination classes like that, the XP cost is like a cleric will go from 1 to 2 with 1400 XP, right? But a berserker takes 3000.
Yeah, that's the way it is in Dragon Slayer.
So
Now it's like 32 something or 3,500 to get to second level. It's ridiculous.
yeah. I love the subclasses. I love the subclasses in Hyperborea, but honestly, the 4 core classes I think are actually better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Austin's playing just a core cleric, a basic cleric, and his guy is wrecking shit.
Yeah.
Running around just tearing shit up,
I was thinking about playing Downsy the Wizard. There's no minimum ability stat for the core classes. So you could play a wizard with like a 5 int.
Oh man.
And I had an 8. So I put all the 13s and 18s, 18 con and the 13 strength, give him target strength, and be like, yeah, down.
Shit,
grilled cheese.
All right, brother. I'm going to go make dinner.
You go make dinner.
I love you.
Love you.
Bubba, always good to see you, buddy.
Hey, get me up to Super Friend or Forever Friend on Pokemon Go, and we can do remote trades, bro.
We can from far away.
Yes. Oh, when you max out the friend bar, I did that this morning. I got a Reggie Gigas shiny lucky.
Nice. I will work on that.
I just gotta keep either remote raid together or just do gifts every day. It'll eventually get there.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. See you guys later.
All right. Later. Sure, bye-bye. Later.
I woke up this morning and like one of the first things I did is listen to one of my boys from Kentucky, little Dwight Yoakam.
There you go.
You
You got a
know,
statue in the graveyard down there in his hometown.
do they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Used to
It
go
was him and damn it, what's his name doing Streets of Bakersville.
Yeah, it's a good one. We
The
think.
one guy that was on like the Grand Ole Opry forever, the blonde-haired one.
Yeah. I'm making sure I'm thinking about the right guy. Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight Yoakam, you know, did Inside the Pocket of a Clown and all that. It only hurts me when I cry or smile or whatever.
He's dead, though, right?
I don't know if he is. I mean, he's older than I am, so he could be. Because, you know,
He's still alive. It's not the one I'm thinking about then.
once you hit a certain age, it's like,
I can't remember who it is then. It's not Dwight Yoakam. It's
Dwight Yoakam did guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music.
yeah.
You
Okay.
know, years ago, dude, years ago. And you know who else I found out is from the Great Commonwealth? Matt Mercer's wife.
Yeah. She's from Louisville. I don't think that counts.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I always tell Leth, I'm like, Leth, you're from the Commonwealth, but you're not really from Kentucky.
There's like 5 regions, dude. There's 5 regions, and we all agree that Louisville is actually a city-state from the Midwest that's located in Kentucky.
Yeah, and if we could ship it across the Ohio River, we would.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get the river to cut around it again.
Yeah, like dig a big trench
Big trench.
and just be like, okay, Ohio, you got Toledo, have this shit too.
Have a scourge as well. Especially
Yeah.
the west side of Louisville. Shithole. A lot of good restaurants, though. I mean,
It's a city.
yeah. Yeah. I follow Goodall's Country Kitchen. He does restaurant reviews. You ever seen it?
No.
You got to watch it. It's hilarious because he does things that normally I don't tolerate, like his terrible table manners. Goes in for the double snapping turtle, and just eats like an animal and talks with his mouth full. But he gives the kind of review that I can relate to.
I watched that guy from Alabama that's always doing top 10s of Southern food.
I don't know who that is.
I forget his name. He lives in Alabama. He's roll tide all the time. And he does like all these funny videos just about being in the South.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He used to be with a bunch of other people. Now he's off by himself.
Yeah. Like he did the one like what it's like when you drive in the South. And the funniest one, it was like every state was friendly except for Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like he's like, Kentucky. And the guy comes out of nowhere and he's like, what are you doing on my land? Who sent you here? You know, you better turn around and go back the way you came, you know, and that's how he did the Kentucky guy.
Yeah,
In Louisiana, the guy's like, well, you just go up there and do this, and he had the accent, and he's like, you know what? Just slide over, I'll drive you. It's just like, okay.
He did. His last one was sausage and cheese biscuits, I think, right?
Right. He does.
And I haven't watched it yet because I'm like, if he doesn't do Tudors, he's not doing it. He's not doing it right. Because Tudors.
Yeah, he did like the best milkshake, and you know, and he like. I saw one the other day where he was doing like the best root beer.
Yeah.
And it's just my wife and I just put that shit on when we want noise in the background and we're doing other stuff, you know.
Me and my wife like watching that because we laugh at it. It's one of the few things. We have a lot of things we enjoy together, but it's a Southern thing was always high on the list. And
yeah, well, yeah, and me and my wife, we play a lot of those Euro games.
Yeah. Used to
The
do a
ones
lot
that
of
are like
we played cricket for a while. I keep crushing them. They don't like getting crushed.
The wife told me she was going to teach me how to play cribbage. We never got around to it. We just started playing Agricola or Agricola or however you say that, which is just a farmer placement game. You start out with like an empty farm and two people on the farm, I guess the husband and wife. and you just do shit to try to make the best farm, and then at the end of the game, whoever's got the best farm wins.
My wife doesn't play games, any kind of game.
That's well, you know,
She will do it occasionally. She likes in conversational card games. That's it.
right?
And every other thing, board games, war games, tabletop games, she is not interested. But we like music and literature and all that other stuff.
Well, I mean, you know,
But you've been drinking again. You're all wobbly.
people are different. As long as see what's cool about your wife is even though she don't like games, obviously she don't mind that you like games,
She tolerates it very easily.
right? My first and second ex, not only did they not like games, they hated the fact that I liked games.
Yeah, that's my first wife.
And so it didn't work out long term because you can't be with somebody that hates,
Hates your hobby. Oh,
you know.
what are you doing that for? You know I'm not picking it up.
So
Bob won't be home in a minute. Bob will
so that ended up being an issue.
yeah.
But yeah, maybe Bruce will get on in a bit. That'll be good. It's been a while since I've seen Bruce. It's been a week or so. That'll be fun. But yeah, I hear about your game literally every week.
Whatever.
I get blow by blow from Leth about like all this stuff going on, and he is. I mean, I don't. This could be considered heresy, but the way he talks about it, he is absolutely having like a great time.
That's my goal. Everybody have a hoot. Have a hoot.
Have a hoot, yeah. Well, he apparently is.
Back
Have
into
a hoot.
more games, dude. We're getting back in some BattleTech. I was at my bud's house. He's like, I've been misplaying this, and then pulled his computer up and like dropped $200 on mechs. I was like, what the hell? You could be
You
paying.
know, supposedly they're coming out with new box sets and they're changing rules, and I'm thinking,
Yeah, August 1st. I've seen some of the rules change. They're getting rid of skidding for mechs, which a lot of people didn't bother. But I think it's awesome. You know, you're going to run 25. I want you to make some piloting checks. And I think they're getting rid of the jam on the ultra autocannons.
Yeah, I heard that that's one of them I heard. So if you play of it in an era where you can actually get the ultras, they're going to be much better.
He's going to be a farm boy.
Which actually, the era I usually play, you could, in theory, get an ultra autocannon if you got your hands on a Star League era mech.
Yeah, but the guys I play with are really into the clans. So
Hey, what's up, Mobius?
25 to 30-60. So depending on this scenario, we're going to do 30-25 old school up to 30-60 the True Satukia. And I got a couple guys who love playing clans, but I'm making them pay for their pilots, which joke's on them. I'm going to make mine a secondary star, and they're all second line, so they're 4/5s. Sorry.
Yeah, they're all free births.
Free births in the 2Cs, baby. Got my Kraken coming. I just love it. 10 Ultra Autocannon 2s, range 27. Eat it.
No one's going to use the new rules except for competitions. You're probably right.
Oh, yeah, it's turn illegal. If you're going to turn,
I mean, so basically what Raven and I were talking about too is I was talking about the possibility of one day, like in the very far future, running MechWarrior 2nd Edition again. And Raven's like, you should just run it Mind's Eye. And I'm like, I've ran this game though many over the years for like long campaigns, and I always use miniatures.
yeah,
So I can't imagine
playing BattleTech.
how I could run BattleTech Mind's Eye. I couldn't do it.
Not the big stompy mech part, but the MechWarrior part. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the part where they're running around town trying to cut deals and robbing people and getting drunk in bars. Obviously, I don't worry about it, right?
You got to hear
But
it.
when it comes time to actually do the mission, because they're making I have 8 players and they're basically making a mercenary.
That's all the way to go.
and everyone's randoming their mech. Like they put their priority for the weight class, but then depending on where their mech warrior comes from, is the list you roll on to see what mech you get.
Yeah. I got to pop off here. He's getting grumpy. I got to start cooking.
Yep.
I think he's
I
getting
will
hungry.
catch you later, homie. Thanks for dropping in.
No problem. But yeah, I'll post more of that stuff as I DIY my table and everything.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I got that stencil and just get the Sharpie out and went crazy with it.
Yeah, it looks pro, man.
Oh,
I need to put my freaking water over. You know, it's wild when like you have kept your water that you clean your brush in like one spot for a year, and then you change it. And like muscle memory, I guess. Every time I go to rinse my brush, it's like, okay, what am I doing now? My boy James L. from the mystical unknown land of Australiopolis sent me a link to a Wargamers channel, and I need to check that out. The guy was, I guess he filmed a battle using Baron's War. And as some of you know, I have picked up a bunch of Baron's War stuff, and eventually, if I ever finish painting my mechs, because I got all the fantasy figures I was working on are done. I got them done. I'm happy. And now I'm working on a few mechs. And then I'll start actually building. I'm wondering, I think I might build the Templar force first for Outremer, which is, you know, Crusaders. And I had ordered from England. I have it up here. Here it is. A bunch of not stencils, transfers specifically for the Knights Templar of that era. So you see there's crosses to go on their surcoats and on their shields. And these stencils are specifically made for Fireforge miniatures, which is what I got there. So they should be pretty easy to paint if you think about it. I mean, basically paint the horse, paint all the cloth on them white. And so primer it white, paint the horse, paint the armor carefully, and then slide some stencils on there and have some badass looking Templars. Maybe make the comparisons on the horse a little dirty at the bottom or something. But and then for my Byzantine units, I got these that go on the Byzantine style teardrop kind of kite shield. So yeah, I got a bunch of these. So they already, like right now, they already look badass just with the shields painted as they are. But I think when I put the icon of Jesus Christ Pantocrator on them, I mean, it's going to make the whole unit really stand out on a table. And that's good. Unfortunately, the cataphracting, which I have a couple of units of cataphracting, either they don't even carry shields, or the shields they carry are very small, because a lot of times they would actually charge and hold the spear two-handed. So basically, they're either carrying a buckler or nothing. So yeah, really the only unit that could use is my spearmen. But they're also the largest amount of my army too. So, you know, having like 80 of these guys done up will be badass. What is up, homeboy?
How you been, man?
How's everything? The last time I seen you, pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I like to hear that.
You know how life is: ups and downs, disappointments and triumphs.
Yeah, I fucked up today. I might have hit some lady at
I
like
think
2
it's
miles
weird
per hour.
timing that James L reached out for me. I'm sorry, Bruce. No, Mobius, he reached out because I was actually watching a stream he was on. And I said, hey, James L, I just picked up a shit ton of Barons War stuff this last couple months. And James L likes basically every historic game. I've known the guy forever. If it's a historic game of any scale, he's involved in some way. So yeah. But yes, I always say that his country doesn't actually exist. And I think he actually lives in like Chile and he's faking the accent. Here we got it, Timmy. Oh, Condor? Yeah, Condor reached out to me and wanted to interview me, join me on,
Hey.
whatever. And I was like, well, that's cool. If you want to be cool, I'll be cool. And then I watched Double D's thing the other day, and I was like, what in the F is going on here? Because Double D, the other guy that was on the show, Ryan something or whoever that is, I don't know who that is, really, right? But
Had a
Double
real
D
common
has
name.
never been a shitty guy to me ever. So I'm not saying we're like the bestest of friends or anything, but he's always been super cool. I'd have a beer with him any day of the week. So, I mean, whatever Condor DM has been doing that's got Double D hyped like that has got to be pretty bad. It's got to be pretty bad. So
He done fucked up, Ron.
yeah, he done effed up pretty bad. And because me, I'm super forgiving. I'm like, whatever, yeah, we had beef in the past, or I talked shit. I feel bad about it a little bit, whatever. But now I'm kind of wondering about like trustworthiness. You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, Timmy was online when he showed up and talked to me.
Yeah.
But now after I hear what he's been doing, threatening to like report people and this, that, and the other, I'm all like, whoa, maybe I just want to avoid that whole situation.
Yeah. Not to mention, I heard there was a little bit of a scamming issue with them too.
Yeah, I heard that today.
With the Dungeon Delver, who lives literally 45 minutes from me. And he is I think personally, between me, you, and him, if he ever listened, he's kind of a hippie for my taste. But other than that, he's a decent human being. And I think he and I could sit at a table and play D&D just fine. And Harmony Ginger is a total sweetheart, right? And people attack her because she talked to Jeffro. It's like, well, who cares? It's like, and apparently, yeah, Condor was doing some shit and interfering with that guy. He runs out of Gods and Monsters or some shit, the comic shop up in Orlando near Maitland, I think. It's a good store. But I'm kind of never leave my house. And then when I do, if I do leave my house to go to a comic shop, it's Cosima Comics because I've known the owner for like 40 years at this point, So I know that Dungeon Delver runs like an online tournament, or not tournament, con.
Here in Salon. What is it, Brooks?
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but he runs like an online convention, and you can play games and sign up, and See, I'm kind of lucky, even though none of them ever talk to me because I think I'm too whatever I am. But I'm lucky because there are a lot of gamers in Orlando. I mean, you think about it. I mean, yeah, counting me, there was like four of them. Count the three of them on their stream plus me is just four of us in Orlando. And yeah, so anyway, I like Dungeon Delver. I've watched his show. I've watched his live plays. He was running Gamma World Second Edition a while back, and I watched it. What are you painting today, Bruce?
I've got a Reaper fig that I've been needing to work on for a while. And
I'll be right back.
really like this fig. Looks like a scallywag.
I have an order incoming from Reaper as we speak.
Yeah, I unboxed a few figs of theirs last week.
So did I. That's the problem.
It's where I found this very fine dwarven brewer.
That's
if
nice.
I can get this to focus. There we go.
I ordered a bunch of stupid looking wizards specifically because they were stupid looking. Like one of them's got like a really tall hat, and the other one's got like a GUOGC. Yeah, yep. That he does that, and maybe one of these times I'll actually get involved in that, if for no other reason, just to play. And maybe I should reach out to Harmony Ginger and Dungeon Delver and be like, hey guys, I literally live 35 minutes, 45 minutes from you guys. What's going on here? I mean, if we're going to do an Orlando Gamers thing, I mean, I'm over here too. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like I said, I typically run out of the Cosima Comics, like during Adventure League and everything.
Yeah.
I was 100% a Cosima Comics guy. I ran the game for them. But what's up, PB? Long time, man. Yeah, yeah. I think everyone here in the chat currently that knows the guy agrees with you. He's a good guy. I got no problem with him. He reminds me of my brother-in-law, who is also like an old hippie and just likes playing D&D and stuff. And which my brother-in-law, last Saturday, we were playing Hyperborea. He had spent all day painting a house and then drove from Plant City to Gainesville, which is literally across the state. And we're playing, and he's having a good time. And I hear him say something about, I think I need to grab a beer. And then, like, I'm like, so anyway, what are you going to do now, Dwayne? Nothing. Dwayne, nothing. Dwayne. He was sitting in front of the computer, fell asleep. And I just said, well, you can't blame the guy. He just spent literally like 16 hours painting a house and then driving home. You know? So, I mean, yeah, he texted me the next day and was like, I'm sorry. And it was like, dude, you're out in the Florida heat effing around with this stuff, man. I'm never going to be mad at you. Don't worry. He's like, so what happened? I was like, your sister played your character. He did okay. Because I'll do that. And I let my players know. If something happens and you leave in the middle of an adventure, that don't mean your character left. They will be handed off to someone else. And if they die, well, you'll get to roll a new character when you get back. And
fair enough.
Yeah, some people don't like that, but hey, you know, that's how continuity works.
Yep,
part of the ship, part of the crew.
Yeah. You don't
part
just vanish out of the dungeon because, you know, you in real life had to go. But also dying in my game isn't a big deal because I let people make characters with like the amount of XP they had when they died. So it's like, okay, you died and that sucks. And you might have possibly lost a bunch of good treasure and whatever. But on the other hand, I mean, You don't got to start all over. And in
Pretty
some ways,
reasonable.
it works out for some people because if you leveled up a paladin and you die and you decide to come back as a thief, you're going to be like 2 levels higher than you were just because of the way the XP works. But yeah, we're having a really good time with that game. They got into the really dark parts of the earth and they found out that the region ahead of them might be haunted by some gugs, and they ran. And Haas's cleric called them all a bunch of various names that mean that you're not very brave, and that's a thing because he hates them all anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you looked at this campaign called The Gods of the Forbidden North?
I have not, but I believe it's also based on the old legends of Hyperborea.
I think it is.
Yeah, there's a few of them. Because I guess the Greeks wrote a bunch of crazy shit about this continent that is where, you know, the Arctic Ocean is, and apparently how it sank. And because you know how the Greeks are, there's all these great continents that all sink at some point. So,
You know, James, one thing I like about my group is whenever there is a new player, they'll usually give them something that the group isn't using to help them out when they first start out.
that's a good group, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you live or die together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is, Timmy, you literally
Yep.
missed Bubba by like 5 minutes.
Oh, dang it.
Yep. I mean, he's
I-
got his grandson all week, so I don't know if he'll be super active or anything as far as online stuff.
Oof, we
But,
might not be playing tonight then.
Bruce, look at that.
Oh, I've seen that figure before.
Yeah, that's a Union class dropship.
Yes.
But yeah, at some point I'll reach out to my fellow Orlando gamers and try and situate some shit. And you know, I don't know who's being nice, but
You know,
people
James,
should be nice as far as you can, right?
them being nice and sharing is how I got that +3 defender. It's like, oh, the cleric died. Well, you know what? You're making a cleric here.
Right. I mean, if Mobius, if you're talking about some of the rules I use, yeah, I went through the phase when I ran AD&D where it was like, oh, you died, make a first level character and stuff like that. But I kind of got over it. You know what I mean? After a while, I realized that it's just not what a lot of players want, you know? And I mean, after I had a couple players die and be like, I'm just not going to play anymore because the rest of the group's like level 8 and they're level 1. And it's like, you know, granted, they're going to XP fast if they don't randomly get caught in an AoE and die again. But nah, so now I'm like, look, you know, as a matter of fact, in the Hyperborean game, I haven't even been like awarding XP the normal way I usually do. I've kind of been using a milestone system where I just come up with the scenario and then I basically kind of sort of use my own judgment to figure out how much XP each player will get if they survive that scenario.
You know, James,
And then that's just what I do.
that's the good thing about Chaosium games. They don't use XP.
Right. And I'm not opposed to XP though, Leth. I mean,
I know, I'm not either. I'm just saying. With
as a
that
matter
game,
of
you
fact,
don't have to
one of the
worry.
players at my table, the same one that I was telling you hates abstract money. I don't know how she feels about abstract XP either. Because she's always like, how much XP was this worth? How much XP? She loves the paperwork. You know what I mean? And yeah, so she works at a bank doing paperwork, so that makes sense. But yeah, and I was explaining to her about abstract money. What's up, Dean Powell? How you doing, brother? And she was like, I would hate that. And I was like, I knew you would. That's why I was like, yeah, we're not going to play that game. Because, like, I think the majority of at least old school players, people want to know exactly how many gold pieces they actually have.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about the White Wolf games.
Yeah, you got like the wealth background.
Yeah,
And if you got like a 5, if you're like in the vampire one, at least you got 5, you're like a multimillionaire, but it doesn't
Yeah.
say how much of a multimillionaire. It's
Nope.
it's
Just-
like, and KO, Call of Cthulhu is the same way. You got your finance level or wealth level or whatever, same thing.
yeah.
Except they do put a number to it. Like if your wealth
True.
is 1, then you can easily at any time buy $1 worth of something in a day. And then it just goes up. But if you actually buy something really expensive, your wealth level goes down. Because, you know, they make a difference between liquid finances versus, you know, property and stuff. So it's not horrible, is what I'm saying to that.
I get it, but I do like to have the exact knowledge of where my money's at.
Yeah.
My Ashkenazi side really likes the exact dollar amount. I'm just saying.
Right. Right. And I totally get it. I mean, and my players are that way too. I mean, like I said, this young lady, and she is a young lady compared to me anyway. She's like a little over half my age. She shows up to the game with a notepad specifically because she wants to keep notes and know how much money there is. And oddly enough, she's somehow become like the group's banker. Like she
So
gives everyone in the group walking around money, and then she like keeps the rest of the money.
So she's playing her job in the game too.
Yeah, she's basically being a banker in the game. You know, she holds the money, she invests the money, she stores the money, she does all the stuff with the money. And then if people need things, she gives them some money. And then when they go to like a tavern, she lets everyone tell her what they want, and then she makes the order and pays for it. So it's you had to go to the specialist. That sucks, bro. I hate it too. Yeah, D20, believe it or not, and I know I've said this before, so I know you'll believe it because I'm not going to lie to you about it. My wife's favorite role-playing game in the world is D20 Modern, and I have every single book they ever released for it, and some of them in doubles. Because a guy I know was moving, and he brought over a comic book long box that was nothing but D20 Modern books. And he said, you know, $50. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I cracked him off a fresh 50 right off the bat. And then what I ended up doing is like, because I had at one point 4 copies of the core book. So I was like, you know, giving them to friends and stuff like that. But I made sure to keep one of everything. So I have everything, the post-apocalypse stuff, the far future stuff, the fantasy, bleeding into reality stuff. And if I were going to run Shadowrun, except not use Shadowrun rules, I would probably use D20 and use the Urban Arcana and then the Cybertech book.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. What is up, homie?
Hey, Dean Paul.
Hello. And yeah, I would say the only mistake they really did with World 20, no, not World 20, sorry, Modern D20 was they didn't, either they should have included Urban Arcana in their core book, or they should have released it like a few weeks after.
I think you're right. If they had just released that as like a part of the game, it would have made the game a lot more attractive.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is on Drive-Thru RPG right now, but the last time I looked, they were wanting like $70 for a print copy of Unearthed Arcana from Drive-Thru RPG. And it's
No.
like, wait, that's not the way it's supposed to work.
No,
You know,
I agree.
but
Isn't
luckily
that-
I've
isn't
got
that
the
more-
original, so awesome. But
Isn't that like more than like that vampire book, like the Anniversary Edition? Or is that a little more?
it's pretty damn close, yeah. And it's really weird. It's like these companies, what books they allow to be reprinted and not make no damn sense.
Yeah.
Like Catalyst, one of my favorite dead horses to just constantly beat, right? Catalyst Games. You
Yeah.
cannot get the PDF or print version of the second edition of Shadowrun. You can get the first edition core book. You can get like a lot of the other edition core books, but not a second edition one.
Because the
And-
second
and I
edition
know
game,
why.
everybody played second edition. Everybody liked second edition.
Because if they release that shit print on demand, whatever edition they're trying to push right now would die.
Would die.
Yeah.
Because people will be like, F6 edition, it's a bunch of trash. I'm going back to second.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, what you call it, the second edition was basically we fixed up the game a little, and we cut it down a lot on the dice. You don't no longer need to roll it off of a truck.
Yeah, the main thing that I liked about second versus first is it gave every weapon a uniform soak value, or like damage value.
Yeah.
So like how you might have some weapons that were like damage 6, whatever 1, 6S1, and some would be like maybe 5M2. Every weapon is just whatever 2. And they kind of unified the front load of the damage. So it just made it really simple. When you rolled your dice, which you're right, you rolled less, you didn't need as many. For every 2 successes after the first one that hit, the damage code went up 1. And for every 2 soaks, it went down 1. So it was like, okay, you only have to remember one number, 2, instead of every weapon have its own, freaking advances or whatever they called it. But otherwise, it's first edition, but it's Shadowrun at its purest. We've talked about this, where magic and technology do exist, but there's a wall between them.
Yeah.
Whereas in later editions, they blur the wall between the magic and the technology, and I don't like it.
Yeah, they basically invent biotech and so forth. So, now we can buff the mages with the implants.
Or my favorite, hey, I'm a technomancer. I can actually hack into the web through magic. And
Bullshit.
TFO, get out of here. The whole point is magic and technology hate each other. Not that, And also, which was added in 3rd edition, I do not like the physical adept. I don't like it. And I have a guy who always wants to play a physical adept, and he always takes like killing hands. D. So basically, he's playing a stupid character that can run around and punch people and just kill them if they don't soak. And I'm like, that is some bullshit right there,
Question though, did he say you're already dead constantly?
What's that?
Did he say to the opponent, you're already dead?
He didn't. He should.
Isn't that a Chuck Norrisism?
No,
No,
that's
Fist
Fist
of
of
the
the
North
North Star. Basically, he has the like those pressure point technique. He has one where like, oh, I'm fine, and then you suddenly explode.
Yeah, Fist of the North Star was like a post-apocalyptic whatever, and you had this dude run around punching people with that.
Yeah.
It's a really, really old anime. It was like out
Fun
when I
one,
was
though.
pretty
Yeah,
young.
it's like 80s.
Yeah.
Where basically Fifth of the North Star is
I thought they
well,
made
the background
an
is
actual
that
movie, didn't they?
They made a
did a
1995
movie,
movie. If I remember
Well,
right.
basically, the background of Fist of the North Star is, of course, Kung Fu exists because it's a martial arts movie.
Yep.
But basically, there's a lot of decadence in the world, and basically, a U.S. military guy says, "I'm tired of this. We're ending the world now," and he nukes everything. So now there's like a post-apocalypse, like Iron Age kind of world afterwards, and there's like a lot of leftover technology people use. And like a classic one is like that's the protagonist saying to someone else, "You can't just use dynamite and call it a martial arts. Hey, if it works, it works." The other guy replies then.
Right.
All right, so I'm in the. Do you have a movie channel in your Discord or no?
I don't,
I'm gonna put this in your anime channel then.
because the last time I watched any movies on like Discord, it was I think on Janet's Discord.
Ah,
Because I happen to log on, and you know how it'll show who's on and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And she was on doing something. And I popped in and watched for a while. I watch you. OGG invited me to watch a game the other day, but I was already involved with playing board games with the wife, so I didn't. But I think they had some kind of live game going. So if he's got it on his channel or something, I'm going to have to check that out, you know?
well, I just put the Fist of the North Star 1995 in your anime channel on your Discord.
Yeah, I think they made a live action version.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's in
Yeah.
it. Just Malcolm McDowell's in it.
Yeah. You know, the most overrated anime, in my opinion, is probably Akira.
Yeah, I
Agreed.
think that one is too.
And I'm not even saying I dislike Akira. I don't
No.
dislike it, but it's like,
It's not bad. It's just I think it's a little bit overrated.
yeah, a little overrated. People are always like, "Hey, you ever see Akira?" And it's like, who hasn't?
Yes, who
A
hasn't?
million times. Everybody won't shut up about it. And it's not even like Akira nowhere near as good as the Cowboy Bebop movie.
Or
Yeah,
Ghost
and
in
you
the Shell.
also have like a
You know how
disadvantage.
Cowboy Bebop had the season, but then they also had the standalone movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the standalone movie is way better.
Yeah, I will also say Akira also has like the disadvantage that like they did the best they could, but they had to like make an anime out of like 1,000 either 1,000 chapter or 1,000 pages manga.
Well, yeah, so basically they were dealing with the Berserk thing.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to make a movie out of, I mean, I have the collector's edition here, out of 20 freaking books that are that thick. You know, it's like, oh my goodness. Good luck with that. But I'll tell you what, the Golden Age anniversary or whatever, the Golden Age arc, the anniversary one was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I could tell they had cut a lot of stuff out just based on the fact that I've watched the original Golden Age arc so much. I immediately noticed when things were, you know, cut out or different or anything, but it
Yeah.
still catches everything you need to know, which is basically that Griffith is an asshole.
Yeah, never trust a twink.
Yep. Can you imagine wanting something so bad that you would have sex with literally anyone to get the thing you want, even though you don't actually like? I don't know if Griffith is gay or not. I don't think he is because he seemed to like women, but he was sleeping with that fat older guy
Yeah.
just to get money to keep, you know, the mercenary group going or whatever.
Yeah.
Then he ended up killing him in the end, I think. And it's just like, if you're willing to like do all that kind of stuff, you know, you need to let it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going too far. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I always figured that like Griffin, he is not as much sexual as much as he likes power.
Yeah. That's kind of, I think I agree with you 100% on that. That's kind of Griffith to a T. He doesn't care about anything but getting his dream.
Yeah.
And he will F over everybody and anybody to do it.
And what do you call it?
Well,
the times where he could have been redeemed, he didn't because he listened to the demons lying to him that he had no humanity at all.
Right.
And then that's what ended up happening, you know.
And then he gets jealous about Casca and Guts. And it's like Casca had been standing around forever waiting for him to notice her. And he never did. But now that he's crippled and all effed up, now he wants to try and climb up her after she's obviously with Guts. Get out of here. Again, I think that was just a power move. I don't think he was, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's enough. I get, or not enough if we want to keep talking about it, but Berserk is my favorite. Berserk, I think, and I know a lot of people will disagree vociferously, but I think the characters and the character arcs and everything in Berserk are better, possibly better, than even the Grandmaster Tolkien's stuff. In a different way.
In a different way, definitely, because Tolkien is not Tolkien. Berserk is definitely it's not for everyone, and not just because of what happened.
For the weak apart. shit goes down.
Let's just say that the story starts with the protagonist being birthed from his hanged mother.
And then moves on to him being essayed for 6 silver coins by the one man he trusts.
Yeah.
Sold out. I mean, poor Guts, man. His whole life is... I mean, it's the story of a child soldier who grows up and becomes a maniac. Like, he's so spiteful, he refuses to die.
So it's a poor man's retelling of Soldier with Kurt Russell.
No, it's way worse than that. And by worse, I mean better. Because Guts isn't a yes, sir, no, sir, I'll kill them all, sir. He's emotional. He's a human. But he got sold out when he was a young boy by the person that was supposed to protect him. And
after his adopted parents died of a plague.
After his adopted parent died of plague. And then all he could do is train to be a fighter. He was on the battlefield fighting by the time he was like 10 or 11. The only reason he lived is because he's just a big kid. And he grows up to be a really big dude. But he never had a childhood.
Yeah.
You know,
so,
he was killing men by the time he was 10.
So yeah, despite what all we are saying, basically the arc of Berserk, what do you call it, is the arc of what's been written so far, basically he is a stone cold killing machine in the start, and then eventually gains some humanity. Also
thanks to Casca, really.
Yeah, thanks to Casca, and then also like learning why, what's the purpose of revenge, basically.
Yeah, that's part of the arc, because in the beginning he doesn't care about anything except killing people and getting money. And then over time with the Band of the Hawk and he falls in love with Casca, he actually becomes a human for a little while before it's all snatched away and all of his dreams are crushed. You know, and then he goes back to kind of being a killing machine again.
How would you sell somebody on Berserk?
That's not me. You need to ask for that. Go ahead, James.
Tim, you've seen Berserk, right?
Nope. It was not my kind of anime.
Dude, I like it a lot.
I get you like it, and I get why people would. It's just It was a little too dark for me.
That is a perfect. I mean, that's a very succinct way of describing Berserk. It's dark. But
Yes.
the thing I like about it is it's dark, but Guts never quits. Like, no
I
matter
get
how
that,
effed up it is, no matter what bad happens, nothing stops him. He will climb up, missing an arm and an eye, and keep going. And I find that to be like inspirational, actually.
That is very inspirational. I just
Like,
I
no
don't know
matter.
if I can watch it with the dark parts.
Well, it's yeah, you're right. I mean, the world is weird because it's like, if there is a heaven, I don't know if it exists. It's like the world is ruled over by demons. And apparently there's fairies too, but only certain people can see them.
Yeah.
So yeah, dark is the perfect descriptor. It's dark. My wife's watched it, and I think she said the same thing. That's pretty dark, you know. It's like, ugh. And she don't like 40K for being dark. So compared 40K and Berserk, I mean, like if you see the episode about the dark eclipse, yeah, that's the one that'll let you know whether you're gonna want to see any more Berserk or not. But if anyone's got any other opinions, I mean, I think, yeah, Timmy nailed it. It's freaking dark.
Yes, it is.
It's really dark.
So yeah, I don't think we are sold on anyone on it. So, but that's okay.
But yeah, all I've said is why I like it. Guts, in my opinion, is an inspiration. He never quit.
No, I get that. It was.
He's like Joe Dirt. No matter what happens, he just keeps on going, man. That's why Joe Dirt was a good movie, because
You know, a lot of
everything
lesser
bad happened to
men.
that dude, and he just
would've-
kept going, never let anything get him down.
I was gonna say with Berserk, no matter what, he'll keep going.
Yeah. In
A lot
the
of lesser
second
men
one,
would have died
the what's it called? The Black Sword or Dark Sword series. In the beginning, when the little girl and the old guy gives him a ride in the wagon, then she ends up getting stabbed and undead and kills her own dad. Because that's the other thing too, Bruce. Guts has a tattoo, a brand actually, on his neck that summons demons to his location.
Really?
Yeah, because he was supposed to be part of this giant sacrifice, but he lived through it because he's Guts. But he still had the brand. So, like every night, it attracts demons, and of course, it'll bleed, and that's how he knows when, you know, evil entities are near. And then he kills them, pretty much. But
You know,
And,
that would make the Doomslayer's job a lot easier.
yeah, it would.
But yeah, James, if I remember correctly, and this is not a spoiler because again, the series they still need to figure out.
I wouldn't care if anyone who, I mean, Dean.
It's enough. If anybody's gonna get
It's been out
spoiled by
20
it,
years. If you don't know it by now,
you aren't gonna watch it.
yeah,
Okay.
I worry about spoilers for a movie that come out like a month ago. I'm not worried about spoilers for,
Yeah.
you know.
So you ask, Ella, you said like if there is there's probably not a heaven. There are benign creatures in the world like dragons, but if I remember correctly, they only like been mentioned and so forth.
Yeah, if there is a heaven, I don't remember hearing anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
you've got the God hand, but that's just 5 demons that run around being evil.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
oh, and each of the God hand guys can create what they call an apostle, which is a lesser demon. But by lesser, I don't mean lesser. I mean lesser than a member of the God hand, but still fully capable of wiping a whole town of people out with no problem. And Guts' whole deal is he journeys around killing apostles. That's kind of his thing. And I think Slan, she was a nun at one point, and then she turned into pretty much the demon of hedonism and sex and all that. She kind of wants Guts to become like one of them. Because she leans into that a couple of times, that they should have picked Guts. And Guts does have one of those things. What's it called? The weird medallion with the eyes and the mouth.
I forgot what they're called, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, Guts has one. But he doesn't have a red one. He has a gray one. So, anyway, it's in my opinion the best anime.
I keep hearing about it.
Well, and it's like when everyone freaked out when Goblin Slayer released. Yes, the first episode when the goblinating goes down, that's pretty rough. But if you make it past that point,
I'm glad I gave it a little bit of a chance after seeing that first part.
Yeah, because that first part will be like, nope, I'm not watching this. You have to, if you're the person that's really squeamish, don't watch episode 1. Just start from episode 2 and on, and you'll love it. You'll be like, damn, this is really good. Yeah, and then if you're the kind of person that just has a really good sense of humor and you're like, cool, you'll just watch Goblin Slayer Abridged. Because that shit is hilarious.
Yeah, that's what got me into Goblin Slayer.
If I remember correctly, other than that, Goblin Slayer is basically an expert character staying in the basic area because he doesn't like goblins, and the goblins are actually a threat.
Yeah, the other adventurers make fun of him because he's so high ranked, but all he ever does is kill goblins.
My favorite part of Goblin Slayer is towards the end of the first season when the fighter that's in plate mail and he does like pole arm attacks. He starts ripping through the Goblin Slayer's tactics, and he's like, "Look at that crappy armor he wears. That's so terrible." He just keeps it around because he doesn't. He keeps that armor. Shit. Fuck.
Yeah, basically he doesn't want to arm the goblins if he happens to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Literally everything about his personality is pure spite versus goblins.
And the elder fighter is trying to talk about how he has the worst armor, the light armor that won't protect you against heavy thrusting or like a 200-pound ogre or orog. It's just only good to defend against goblins. It's flexible, it's light, it's supple, but it's not a real fighter's armor. The weapons that the Goblin Slayer picks up are absolute trash. And he just picks up any old weapon to use against the goblins because he wouldn't want to have like a brand new weapon because it might smell different from being in the overworld than taken down in the caverns. The goblins might smell the alloy.
Yeah.
So he just uses all the other stuff. My favorite part of Goblin Slayer through and through is when that fighter is trying to be a snobby bastard, and instead he gives you every reason why you should root for the Goblin Slayer.
Right.
Because he's using every tool in their box. Every tool in their box is used against them. I apologize. I was trying to think of what to say when I first started that. I'm like, fuck, I stumbled over that. Let me retract. My bad.
Well, I don't think anybody's judging you.
Nah,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
fine.
And yeah, Goblin Slayer's just that guy. He's on a mission and he's got a great reason. So,
Oh yeah, the first episode really does establish why goblins are horrible, even if they're
Right.
weak.
That's why they do that. They want you to understand why he does what he does, and they show instead of telling. But yeah, if you're not ready for it, you're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, what?"
The second
Uh,
season, have you seen it yet?
Yes.
I need to watch that one. I've been watching mostly Frieren second season. That's really good.
Yeah, they get into like a huge fight at the farm, and all kinds of shit goes on. It's pretty good.
Really enjoyed what I saw.
Yeah.
Frieren's got to be my favorite current anime.
Frieren is good. I mean, it might seem like some kind of weird, like whatever, but in all honesty, like Frieren is actually a really good anime, and Frieren herself is actually a really interesting character.
One of my favorite characters.
She's basically an immortal elf, and
Yep.
she doesn't understand. Like, when I remember the one episode where Fern had to yell at her because Fern's like, look, you can't spend 5 years researching shit here. I'm going to die of old age. Fern's always trying to make Farron hurry the hell up. And Farron, for some reason, cannot help but get attacked by mimics.
She falls for every mimic. That's the
She
goal.
falls for every mimic.
Yeah, basically, she knows the math, but she's hoping she hits that
That jackpot.
0.01% that where it's not a mimic.
Yep.
And her original companions basically got tired of her, so she developed an explosion spell to save herself.
Yep. And I liked her original companions, even though you usually only see them in like flashbacks.
Flashbacks, yeah.
But him, the hero, and the freaking dwarf, and all that.
Eisen
they
the
were
dwarf
cool.
and Hyter the cleric.
Yeah, they were cool, man.
Yep.
So all the names are based on German, and it kind of annoys me with the dwarf because his name is Iron.
Yes, his
And
name is
he's
Iron.
really strong when he's young, but when he's old, he just can't do it anymore.
Yep. But he had his
Just like
apprentice,
Iron.
though.
Yeah.
It's worn down like iron.
Yeah, there was a 30K book called The Eisenstein. And it was about a starship. Was it Eisenstein or Eisenstern? Whatever. It was like the Iron something. And it was the ship that the Loyalists take from Isstvan V to try to get to the Emperor to warn him that Horus had betrayed him. It's a really good book, actually. It's a real good book. But
I opened up Starship Warden a couple days ago. Started reading through that.
Well, that should keep you busy for like the next couple of years.
I was thinking about that. If my friend's Rifts campaign sucks, I would run that. I really like
that. Is a big freaking book.
Yeah, it is a super big toe breaker, as I call it. The other thing I started reading about 2 months ago, and I haven't gotten past page 40, is the Halls of Arden Vul.
Someone we know was running that adventure. I don't remember who, though.
Well, I'm not a big fan of 3D6 down the line. Their politics got the better of them, and they've come out as like completely anti everything that I like. But they ran up to one of the possible endings of it after like 230 sessions. And so I skipped through and I saw the very last episode, and I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. That's one of the possibilities of the dungeon. I was pretty impressed by it. I'll just say that.
Well, that's good.
Well, it takes a lot to impress me. I mean, I'm running through Czar right now with Pathfinder. And Pathfinder is its own worst enemy because it's a player-facing game that throws everything out there to the players, here you go. Here's how you beat the game. Here's a new feat. Here's a new spell. Here's a new class. And the DM's got an established world, and he's like, wait, whoa, stop this shit. And players like, but Paizo wrote it. Yeah, it doesn't mean I want it in my game.
Like in the Gamers Part 2, I am
Yeah.
playing an elf monk. There are no elf monks. It's in the player's handbook.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate thing of third edition that they didn't put a big enough disclaimer in that. Unless that you're playing an official game, the GM's word is law.
Yeah, that was honestly, you're right, Dean. And that was kind of the design of third edition, is they wanted to put as much of the power and control as possible in the player's hands. And for a lot of old school grognards that are used to playing a game and not letting players even see the DMG or whatever, it was like, wait, what? You're telling me what's going to happen? So it was just like culture shock to a lot of people, I think.
I mean, I think yes to what you said, but I also, if I remember correctly, what they were trying to do was basically try to standardize the rules. So, like, everyone could run something officially without, having them
Right.
being taught. And then, of course, it has its own disadvantages.
Right. Yeah, they were
I-
definitely trying to unify the game so that you could go from one game to the next game and know exactly what the rules were.
Yeah.
And
And you're
Which-
about to say, Bruce?
yeah. Bruce,
Sir?
what were you saying?
No, that's exactly the problem that I have with Pathfinder and third edition. They made everything player facing, and they took out the words "the DM's rule is law." No, we have to have a discussion about it. No, go fuck yourself. Either get off this table and go have your own discussion with some other DM, or you stay here.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of what is what it is, as they say. That's kind of what they were doing, and they did it. And if you were a DM with a strong personality, you could wrangle your freaking cats and have a pretty good game. But otherwise, you could end up arguing. And I've been on both ends of that, because normally my players are awesome and they'll just go with whatever I say. But I had one player who showed up to a game with the freaking Fighter Bard book and decided that his fighter character was going to get monkey grip as a feat and dual wield great swords. And I was like, no. And he's like, well, it's in this book. And I was like, no. And I think that's been like 30 years. And I think that guy probably still feels like he was right. But he don't play with me anymore. And that's always the option. If somebody's going to do something and you hate it, then just don't be a part of it,
My biggest problem with the fucking game is that gay fucking app Hero Labs. Okay, wait, let me retract that. My worst problem with Pathfinder is that it's so fucking complex that a casual player almost needs it, because the cool kids have the laptops at the store and they're like, oh, I have Hero Labs. It does all the additions for me, blah, 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 blah. Hold on here, silly. It might do all the addition for you, but you're building a character and you're trying to run your character through combat. You have no idea how your bonuses got there. You're just going through there, driving a goddamn automatic. This is a clutch world. Go fuck yourself. I cannot stand a game system that is so complex that I need to have a smartphone do my goddamn character edition for me so I can just look at it. I get a plus 43 to hit. I have a plus 38 to knowledge planes. Tell me everything about this. No. You might get a good roll on your knowledge check, or you might have something that says you can undo this lock, but there's a piece of Pathfinder in third edition that they neglected to port from second and first edition AD&D, and that's called time. It might take you an hour to break a lock. It might take you 30 minutes to figure out a certain riddle or a certain vulnerability a monster has, because not everybody has instant recall. And some esoteric facts don't come to the head readily. So I usually will do on my Pathfinder, it pisses my players off because it's not how the rules say, but I'll roll a d6 and that might take them like 2 or 3 rounds to figure out a vulnerability for a monster. And then one of the other players will text the guy who's got the wizard. He's like, no, I got it in my book. After I saw Bruce bought this book, I bought the PDF. I know what we're fighting. Here's what you need to do. It's like, God damn it. The fun of discovery is out. You guys just want to play with a Brady Games cheat book. And that's the entire goddamn system that has been cultivated from the gay-ass WotC fucking rewrite since 1999.
Yeah, that sounds sad.
Yeah, I do agree that the biggest weakness, what do you call it, in third edition and so forth, is that they broke timekeeping. Not so much that they, removed dungeon turns, but that they didn't put anything in their place or good guidelines in their place. And that, what do you call it, that there are too many things are either a standard action or a round.
Yeah. Every action economy item is just, it takes you 6 seconds to do this. And
but you know what the first thing that jumps to my mind, Bruce?
What's that?
Why are you playing that?
Because I have 40 more pages to go through, which is roughly 7 encounters, and then the biggest, best written campaign I've ever played will be over. And just as a final fuck you, I'm going to run
make some good adventure paths.
No, they didn't. They really didn't, because every single one of them after the 4th book falls apart. The 4th book, the PM is starting to read through it, and he's like, okay, this happens. Oh, wait, this NPC has these items here. How is he able to help him do this? This is just a narrative BS, so he can stay alive till episode 6. Why do I have to rewrite the fucking adventure path? Because there's so many consistencies, because you have 6 different authors, and most of the time they do a pretty good job where you can just glaze over something and players don't give a shit. And worst yet, in every adventure path from Paizo, not a single one of them in book 6 has consequences. If the Rune Lord Karzog beats the players, you know what happens? He rules the city of Zinshalast, which has no trade traffic going to it, because it's like 30,000 feet up. And more importantly, there's superhero characters in the NPC book all over Varissia. So he's not going to be like one to stay in power that long, because there are 15th and 16th and 17th level characters scattered all over the place. In every AP, they've got superhero characters that are just side pieces for narrative BS, but the consequences never stick. If you let the Queen take over Varissia in Curse of the Crimson Throne, what happens is a blue dragon erupts from the crown artifact off her head, and then he establishes a lair deep under the Varissian capital. However, he goes to sleep, only to wait for your next batch of tables to get through 15 levels of play to go fight him and maybe die or win. In Kingmaker, that's the one where you collect all the hexes across the countryside and you get all the land. But in the last book, this evil druid chick, she's a Mystic Theurge, really.
She's a nymph.
Yes, the nymph, Mystic Theurge, druid, sorceress. She puts 10 plants across the countryside, and if you don't get rid of those 10 plants, within a certain amount of time, she yoinks your country into the Fey realm, where she's a little bit more powerful, a little bit more of an issue to deal with. But you have a chance because they don't really give you a good amount of time as a GM to educate it. So most GMs I know just said, oh, yeah, well, the 10 plants happened. And then the players went through each and every one of them because they just knew it was going across the countryside 150, 200 miles away just because they know. What? I don't really understand this because...
Yeah, Kingmaker had... well, okay, let's start with one of the issue it has. Basically, well, there's also a problem with all the Paizo's, adventure path that are meant to be read and played. And then they don't have enough, editors, like, of all the books to write, like, an outline.
No.
So, and Kingmaker, try to solve that, they basically made a antagonist of the month. Of the book, I mean.
Yep.
And then you get the last one, which that doesn't make sense because you don't see any build up at all. Which they do fix it. The the video game, and then later the revised edition they released. But that's very much after the fact, like very much. Like it shouldn't have been like that to begin with. After the fact,
I made a poor decision to buy all of them because all of the Adventure Path books have monsters and they have lore for each country and each location that they play in, and they also give you the first 50 or 70. They give you a narrative of like a little 6-page story. So if you read it, you have a good idea of how to interpret that to the players should they want to play it. But there's a lot of those.
You just kind of did something though, bro.
So go ahead.
Well, I said to you, why are you even playing it? And you said the adventure path. And I said, well, okay, the adventure paths, I guess, were cool.
No.
And now you spent 15 minutes explaining how they suck.
Hold on, James. Hold on.
So now I'm all like, okay. So the
playing
excuse you
Paizo
gave
Adventure
for dealing with that shit, you're now saying.
I'm not playing Paizo's Adventure Path. I'm playing the Slumbering Czar Saga,
Right.
which is an adventure path that starts at 7th level and it goes up to 20th. And at the very end of the book, I can say this because my players aren't watching. After they defeat every fucking nook and cranny inside the Grand Cathedral of Orcus, which comes out of the ethereal plane, which ties back to dead gods back in Planescape. This giant cathedral comes out of the ethereal plane, and it's this big tower. You got to wander through it. It's very linear. It's like Final Fantasy X-2, where it's just one dungeon with a very long snaky path, and you get all the way through Orcus from the feet to the head, and you fight this big, old, crotchety cleric. And then after that, you got to go back to this holy site within the city where a hero fell, and they cursed his they cursed his name. But you go through there, and at that point, you go into the barrier, and you cross over to the ethereal plane, and that's where you fight a corrupted gold dragon that was twisted by Orcus, and he was the mount of one of the paladins that fell at the city of Zar 1,000 years ago. And that's kind of cool. The fucking adventure path is actually, that book is badass. Because, like, the first thing that happens when you first get to town, it's not a good town. You got a Temple of Nurgle ran by hobgoblins. You've got a ghoul that runs around eating all the dead things. You've got a hag that she tries to sell you various potions and cures, and she looks at the guy with the best charisma, and she wants to fuck him. And then you get attacked by a big hill giant barbarian. And every time I've ran that encounter, 5 minutes into the game, initiative gets rolled, and the fucking 1 or 2 players die because I just have that bad of dice rolls. After that, these gnomes that were watching you were like, hey, we got this inn over here, and we're cutting up this rabbit. We're going to have a really good dinner. You want to come over? You guys look a little beat up. And so the 2 gnomes invite the players into the inn. Inside the inn, the players are given like the only hospitality that this town has. But throughout the night after they eat, Like, they're not poisoned because it would have radiated a detect poison spell. Nope, the rabbit was spoiled as fuck, though. They had a lot of garlic they put in the stew. And so you have everybody just kind of roll d20. This is actually a fortitude save. The lowest roll, that poor sap, goes to the privy that night. And he's sitting there grumbling with his stomach getting ready to explode. And there's an invisible gnome, a third brother, that he casts invisibility on himself. And then he opens the back of the privy. So he's got like a plus 38 to roll because he's a gnome assassin. He gets behind the privy, studies a player for 18 seconds. You're supposed to talk to the player and just extrapolate to him how bad this feels. It's like a chili cook-off, but with rotten eggs, and it's coming out of you. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, by the way, you need to make a fort save because I just rolled against your flat-footed AC with this, and you need to make a death save. What? The fucking
you're still making me wonder why you're dealing with any of this.
The reason why that campaign is written really well. I'll play Pathfinder to get through that campaign, but I'll never play Pathfinder again. That's why I'm rewriting it, and I'm doing it with a D100 system, which totally invalidates my friends trying to use that gay-ass Hero Labs. Now I throw the Go ahead, Team Pal.
That was me signaling. So from what I understand is the book has some cool premises and then individual scenarios where they have enough, mastery of the system that they like can make interesting scenarios without it just being math. Is that correct?
The scenarios are well written. Each of the planned encounters and probably half of the random encounters, there's a reason and a history within the campaign world why that's happening. It's written for Pathfinder by the guy that wrote one module out of every adventure path for the first 10 adventure paths. So the first 60 issues, you see Greg Vaughn's name in it. Greg Vaughn also uses my favorite book for Pathfinder, the Advanced Bestiary, which has 100 templates. And that's the book you use to alter up your monsters and give them different traits and such and different vulnerabilities and immunities and such. Really good book. The best book for PF1E. Having that accessible while I run this game is the only reason why I'm having fun, because my players, as soon as they start getting an idea what they're fighting, like they're just cheeseheads.
Is this Janet and them?
Not Janet. Janet doesn't have the system mastery of this, but it's the other players at the table.
So nerdy
that have played
over
Pathfinder since 2009 as players, and they've got Hero Labs. They bought all the expansions for it, or they hacked all the expansions for it. But Paizo tried to put everything on the web for free. You could run it off the web if you know how to surf the web. But unfortunately, for a player, like, they took out the mystery by putting it all out there. Worse yet, Pathfinder assumes that if you level up, you just need to take a nap, and then when you wake up, you've got your hit die and your saving throws and your new abilities and spell capacity. I don't like that in the least bit.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you really hate Pathfinder.
I fucking hate Pathfinder with a serious, like, it is a cancer to the gaming culture. Like, worse than 3.0.
I don't agree with that, but I do see it as a flawed game.
Yeah, my characters went into a dungeon and they fought troglodytes and they captured 2 of them after wiping a bunch of them out. And the troglodytes warned them that further down into the cavern there were gugs. And the players had no idea what gugs were, so the mage asked me if he could make an exceptional intelligence check. And he made it with a 0-1 out of 40. And so I explained to him what a gug was, and they decided to turn around and go back and shut the door behind them because this is a gug.
I know what a gug is. It's
Yeah.
got 2 arms sprouting out of the elbows. It's got the gigantic head. Well, I mean, it was in Stranger Things.
What?
And it's Lovecraftian, right?
Yeah, it's from Lovecraft.
Yeah.
They're
They
forced
had a
underground and into the Dreamlands because they betrayed their original great old one they worshipped, and so basically they started worshiping Cthulhu instead of Tsagwa. So Tsagwa made them all like 60 IQ and forced them to live deep under the earth, and they can never come back up. But you see, that's why you don't want to play Pathfinder. So your player characters can run from Gugs.
I
And
will
not even know what
probably
a Gug is, because
I
they
will
probably
probably
haven't read
buy-
the Dreamlands Chronicles.
I will probably buy 2 systems more and add them into my system that I'm running, which is a master system, if I could say it. I mean, I enjoy running it. Chris hates it because there's no Hero Lab support, but
F Hero Lab, man. I remember
Yeah,
when
no
you
shit.
could just buy Hero Lab and have it. And then now they change it where you gotta have a subscription and shit.
yes, it's gay.
Yeah, that's lame as
Like-
shit, man.
Every fucking thing that's got a subscription plan, I want to break out that black guy. Why are you gay?
The only thing that I really loved and I liked the subscription plan to it was Dark Age of Camelot. You paid $15 a month, and they guaranteed they were always adding to the game, and it was a big MMO, and so I never felt like I was ripped off. Well, okay, Trials of Atlantis made me feel like I was ripped off, but I've yet to encounter a game since then that's worth a subscription. You know what I mean? Like, I would
Mhm.
never pay a subscription to play World of Warcraft. F that. That shit sucks. But Dark Age Camelot still charges $15 a month, except everyone playing it speaks French. So good luck with that.
I don't know if I could handle that.
Yeah, they kept my character, even though at this point my character's 25, maybe 30 years old. But I can download Dark Age Camelot, pay my subscription fee, and log right in, and he's still there. Except when I run out of the castle where I put in the rest, everyone's speaking French. And then if you speak English, they kind of avoid you. Like, you're not getting invited to groups and shit because they don't like the Anglais or whatever. And it's like, this is weird, man. You could spend a whole day playing the game and run into like 2 people who actually speak English and they're cool. You run into a few Germans now and then, and they're okay, but you know.
James,
Yeah.
now you know how the English felt after the Norman invasion.
Yeah, it's like, what is up with all this French? Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Dean. Because it's so weird because the game was made in America. It was an American game for years. I played that game for 8 or 9 years straight. And then all of a sudden it completely collapsed, and they they had like 30 servers into one server, and you've got like 2,000 people playing on this one server, and they all speak French. It's like, what? How did this is like an oddity of the universe, you know? Hey, Squirrel Hermit, how you doing, bro? It is an oddity of the universe, but it happened, and I can't tell you how or why, but it's a thing. It's like, all right, go. But every now and then, about every couple years, I pay the $15. I log on. Actually, I pay the $30 because I have 2 characters, and I log on and I what they call dual comp. So I have my healer and my fighter both running on the same computer, so I can just alt tab back and forth, and so I can play the game by myself. You know, my warrior is so powerful, probably the most powerful warrior on the server even now. And with my healer spec fully just to buff the warrior, I mean, I can pretty much solo shit that takes groups. But after about a day of doing that, I get lonely, and I log off and I cancel, and then I let it go for another year or so.
I just had a vision in my head, Timmy and Dean Pal. I'm watching James play through Dark Age of Camelot, alt tabbing, and after about 20 hours of play, he starts to break down like Sir Ian McKellen trying to film the Hobbit, and he's on a goddamn green screen, and there's no other actors to bounce off of. There's nobody to look at. There's nobody to talk to, get reassurance from. Even the cameraman is fucking AI bullshit, and James just breaks down. I'm done. Alt 4. Let me out.
Yeah. That's what happens every time. Like, I'll have fun for a little while. Like, I'll buff myself and then hide my druid in a tower, and then I'll stand around and wait for an enemy assassin to try and stab me because they don't know who I am. They see like a level 50 Celtic hero standing there. They don't know who I am. They stab me in the face, and then I wreck like 3 of them in a row. But then after a while, they stop attacking me because word gets around. Hey, that guy over there, he's got
it's the only word that matters in the French language.
Right.
The only
I mean, they start talking, and all the assassins that are stealthing around invisible, they start avoiding me. And then at a point, I'm just like, F it. Basically, I won that game. And you can't go home.
For that. I think it's admirable. You still try to play and enjoy it.
Yeah, you just can't go home. You know what I mean? That saying, you can't go home, it's true. You can't go home. Chilling in the hotel, doing work on the road. That's either good or sucks, depending on how you feel about it, brother. If you like it, then awesome. And if you're not happy about it, then that sucks, bro. But yeah, that is my sad story about Dark Age of Camelot. It's sad.
Indeed.
What a good game. World of Warcraft came out and everybody left to play World of Warcraft.
Yeah, those fools, those suckers.
And I tried to play World of Warcraft. And
It's
I was
trash.
like, this is absolute trash.
Yeah, I tried for like a few minutes and I hated it.
I like World of Warcraft, but it was also my first MMO, so it doesn't count.
Right.
There's a basic version of World of Warcraft out now, right? They're getting ready to add the Burning Crusade.
Yeah, that's classic. I think it goes up to Burning Crusade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They just added Burning Crusade because I listened to Donut Operator, and that's all he talks about.
Yeah, screw that. Still don't want to play it.
Yeah, when I started playing it, it just came out. So I was already playing Classic. And you know what? I didn't like it. I was like, this game sucks.
I'd rather play Arcade, and that's bad.
I got up to like level 39, and I was like, this is shit.
Yeah, that's and it was an issue. What do you call it with World of Warcraft? That it technically was a good game, but it also like streamlined. What do you call it? A lot of the game formats. So, and then everyone tried to copy it afterwards, and of course failed.
Right. Well, the thing with World of Warcraft that I do respect immensely is the fact that the guys who were inventing the game said, hey, mission number 1, make this shit run on a Commodore 64. And they did. You could pretty much run that shit on a Texas Instruments computer or freaking calculator.
The 4A? Hell yeah.
I mean, and that was brilliant, actually. One of the negatives of Dark Age of Camelot was because it was so beautiful, you had to pretty much have, especially if you did a lot of PvP like I did, you pretty much had the highest end graphics card possible.
The Riva TNT.
Like I would literally have my bro, whose whole career was making computers, make a gaming computer so that I could play with 100 enemy players on the screen and no lag. But so World of Warcraft, they freaking killed it as far as that. And that's why they had such a huge player base too, because anyone could play. You didn't need, back in the mid 90s, you didn't need like a $4,000 computer to play the damn game.
Another thing that also really sold the game for also a lot of younger players was you could buy the game time in the stores. You didn't need a debit or credit card.
Yeah.
That was how I played back then.
No, everything about the way that game was put together is genius. It's just unfortunate that, I guess, like Timmy, I just didn't like the game. I didn't like how it looked, even though I understand why they did it that way. I didn't like any of the adventures. It felt like a total just grind. And it felt like at the end of the game, I'm going to grind all the way to max level so that I can then grind, boss mobs to hopefully get pieces of gear to grind other boss mobs. So it was like, there's no point to this game. In Dark Age of Camelot, you would grind to get the level and the gear so that you could go out in Frontier and fight other players and conquer castles and hang your guild banner off of the castle and, maybe use your points you earned during the fighting to upgrade the NPC guards and expand the castle and so the guild I had, which was Kingdom of Hibernia, I named it after the actual Kingdom of Hibernia. And my symbol was a yellow flag with a green tree on it. And I would hang that bitch at Dunkruak because I knew there were guilds in Albion that absolutely hated me personally. And so that was kind of there was a lot of because my server had its own BBS, chat board, whatever. And man, it was nothing but shit talking nonstop. So if I wasn't actually playing Dark Age of Camelot, I was on the forums talking shit to someone else from the same server, right? Like we had characters on there like, what was that damn cleric's name? Everyone hated him. Telian would attack and take over with his boys, would attack and take over like a Celtic castle. And then he would defend it with his boys, right? But then once you finally used a ram or something and busted the wall down and ran in to kill him, he would run to the very, very top of the castle and jump off so he'd die. And you wouldn't get points for killing him. See? And then he would go on the forums and make fun of you if you complained. So what we used to do is when everybody went into the castle's courtyard and started wiping his group out, I would run around to the back of the castle. And when he jumped off the castle, I'd kill him. So I put an end to that shit.
Question. Did he complain on the forum and did you taunt him?
Oh, I taunted him. I never complained on the forum because complaining on that forum would be like complaining in an Xbox Live lobby. Just don't do it.
But I asked, did he complain on the forum?
Let him do it. It's funnier that way.
No, he didn't. But if anyone complained about his tactics, his response was use tactics or get good or weep in greater quantities, novice, cry more, noob. I mean, that was like the whole thing, Okay,
I'm going to remember that one, weep more in greater quantity.
Yeah, which is basically you take cry more, noob, and you make it medieval. Weep in greater quantities, novice. But when I started figuring out what he was doing and I started running around and killing him, he never complained because he knew and I knew, everybody knew. And then the board had a thing where you could put a picture of your character. So when you post, people could see a picture of your character. And I used like old school Photoshop to put my character in like a pimp, like a big fur coat with a big pimp hat. So every time I post, you see this Celtic guy, but he had like the big velvet pimp hat and the big fur coat on. I mean, that's the kind of shit we did. And that was the golden age of that game, you know?
Yeah.
People hated each other like in real life. And
You know, James, I just make the Brotherhood of Not in that. Just
well,
You
I
know-
did make the Dwarven Supremacy League.
yeah.
That was Haas and I, and we made a group of characters, all dwarves, and every one of the dwarf classes could wear the same armor and use the same shields. So we inked our or dyed our armor all exactly the same, the shields and everything exactly the same, because when we would run up on an enemy, they didn't know who was who. Because all 8 of our dwarves, because that game had 8-man groups, all 8 of the dwarves involved, who were all in team speak with me, looked identical. So, because the rule, as in D&D, was kill the healer first, right? When you engage an enemy group, you kill the healer first, then you take out mages, and you leave the fighters alone, unless you have to kill a fighter off of your healer, right? So we'd hit them, and since every one of us looked exactly the same, they never knew who the healer was. And then people in our realm, that was when we were in Midgard. We were playing dwarves in the realm of Midgard. They hated us because people would be like, hey, like if we were a guy or 2 down, they'd be like, hey, can we join your group? Because they seen how we were out there just killing everyone. And we'd be like, no. And they'd be like, why not? And I'd always be like, because you're not a dwarf. And we don't group with non-dwarves. And people would get pissed, go on the forums and start bitching. And we even made it worse because our guild colors were red and black. So we were the Dwarven Supremacy League. And man, but that's the kind of shit we did. And it was fun. The only other game I ever played that was almost as fun as that was the very beginning of ArcAge. And the server I played on, we had
Arcade used to be really fun.
dude,
Was that
we
the
had a
Korean
guild
game?
on our server called Purple Drink. And every player in this guild, and there were like 50 of them, made their character to look like a Shaquita or a Kanisha or something. And all of the characters were like LaQuisha, Shaniqua. And there was like 50 of them, and they would run around and grief everybody. And then if they got caught griefing everybody and they had to go in front of the judge to go on trial for griefing, they'd all like spam the freaking chat with she didn't do nothing. She a good one and all that.
James, I have a question.
What?
Was there a finale?
It was, I don't know, but basically Purple Drink was all ghetto woman names, all of it. And then there was the Gentleman's Club, and they didn't like me because one of their characters' name was something kind of Irish, and I called him a potato-headed Mick because he's talking shit. And my character's name was Kovac. And I'm like, listen here, you potato-headed fucking Mick. No one cares what you think. So he didn't like me very much. But that's what I did in MMOs. And that one was good, too, because you could raid the other side and kill them.
Yep.
And I played a character who was 100% just specialized in going to their side and killing everybody.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you could put a lot of crests on things, and that was fun.
Yeah. I mean, so that game was as close to DOC as you could get. But then I realized I was spending way too much money playing the game.
That was one of the issues of that game.
And I was like, I need to stop. I think I dropped $200 on fucking in-game boxes or something.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I need to stop. I might have a game.
But ArcAge, was that the Korean MMO?
Yeah, that was the Korean.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that's basically it has that kind of Western style because
well, one side was Western looking, and the other side was basically the Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were at war. And
I
I
was on
played
the
on
Western
the Western side.
Yeah.
So I would sneak over into the rice paddies and shit. And if I caught like a player running around, I'd kill the shit out of them.
Yep.
And it didn't matter if they were, I didn't care what level they were.
No. You
I
just go
was
around
max
killing.
level with like good gear, man, and it'd be like a level 10 running around. I would freaking gank the shit out of him.
You know
Yeah.
what
And
would
they'd
be funny?
cry, but who cared, you know?
One of the funniest
You
things
know
me
what
and my
have been
cousin
funny?
did. We
Oh,
were
sorry,
on
go
the
ahead.
ship. We were doing some sucking ships. And one thing we did was my cousin rammed their trade schooner with his ship and run. I jumped off, got on their ship, and sailed it up to like the north and stole all their packs.
Yeah, you could. There were ships in this game that you could build, and you could carry packs from one point to another to make a lot of money, right? But people on the other team could steal your shit.
Yeah.
Oh, they were mad when we did that. They didn't even get the rest of the packs that were still in the water.
Oh man, we used to do that too. Go out on our like we'd load as many people as you can on like the schooner, and just go out looking for enemy ships and just jump them, and then steal their ship and take it back to our harbor.
We didn't
Because
even
if you
kill them
steal
though.
enemy
That wasn't
packs
even
and
all
you
that
take
more
them to
hilarious.
your harbor, you get extra money.
Yeah. It was more hilarious because we didn't have to kill them. We just stole their boat from under them.
Yeah, that game was pretty wild, man. You could do some shit. But like I said, as a Korean game, it started getting like
A little expensive.
pay to win
Pay to win, yeah.
and yeah.
That was so fun though. And one other thing we did, me and my buddies were actually messing around with like this the trade scooter and my little vehicle that I had. I had like a car that could
Yeah.
carry packs. They harpooned me and stuck me to the side of their scooter and sailed off just to see if we could actually go all the way to our side with the car attached. The physics got a little goofy and like threw the boat into the air because of it.
Yeah, you could do some crazy shit in that game too.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm gonna head out. It's
Okay.
over midnight here, so.
Yeah.
All right,
See you,
take
man.
off.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
for
Bruce,
joining.
real quickly.
Yeah.
Pathfinder maybe will, but it can't hurt you.
That's very true, but I'm writing a game because of all the problems I've had as a GM, and the fact that I've played better games. Rules Cyclopedia BX, for example, far superior to Pathfinder. But I do like a lot of things that Third Ed brought in. I do like the single XP table. I like that. I like the skill sets. I like the idea of feats. I don't like how some of the feats are written. So I'm
Same.
rewriting it all. I've got like 125 pages written so far. And Janet is in both games. She says she likes the storyline in the D100 game a little better. But with that said, she's like, I really like my character in the other game because she can cast almost every spell in the game. When you're 19th level cleric, you can do that.
Oh yeah, Cleric has the whole
Yeah.
spell list. They just have a limit to how much you can prepare.
Yeah.
And you know what, Bruce? I think I prefer percentile games.
Yeah. But I want to know, Bruce, is why have I never heard you say, damn it, Janet?
I say it all the time. It's just you're never around when I do. I say it probably once every 3 streams.
Yeah,
Right.
because
Good
I'm
night, everyone.
because I do watch your streams, and sometimes when I'm streaming and you're streaming, I tell other people you're streaming.
Nice.
I'm like, if you
Thank
don't watch me sit here and just paint stuff, Bruce is streaming, and Janet's over there. She's a lot kinder on the eyes than I am, so I won't be mad if you go over. But I don't know if people do or not. But
I give you permission to show my streams. I think that's awesome. Thank you.
well, I mean, if people want to see an actual game being played, because I'll say what goes on in my games, but I've never recorded one, and there's some. I have really good reasons for it. The main one is that some of the people that game with me cannot, allow their actual personal information to be known. So no pictures, no nothing, right?
Yeah.
And which is how I was when I worked for the fire department. I wasn't allowed to be on the internet when I was in the fire department. Like social media was right out because, you know, if you embarrassed the department by talking a bunch of shit, you could get fired. And that could be the end of your career, right?
Correct.
Even though a lot of the girls that worked at the department still did it. They just did it under other names or whatever. But the point is, you know, I game with people who also are in that position where, because a lot of people don't seem to understand this, and I don't know if it's retardation or what, but when you go to get a job, especially if it's a good job, one of the first things they are going to do is the HR director is going to type your name in to the search bar, and they're going to see what your social media presence looks like. And if they catch you on some forum, you know, dropping M-bombs and shit left and right, you are not getting that job. And people can say that's not fair. I did that 5 years. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No.
That's how that shit.
It don't matter.
The internet is forever.
Yep. And yeah, so, and it's so weird because the internet's been around for so long. You'd think people would just know this by now.
No, people still.
But then I watch Asmongold, and he has like 45 minutes of like nurses who are RNs, which takes a year to become an RN or two, getting themselves fired over stupid shit. And it's like, okay, the internet's been around long enough that everyone in the world should already know how it works.
To be fair, the world's changed a lot.
It hasn't changed that much, though.
I don't know. There's times where it
If
feels very different.
Imagine you spent 2 years or gave oral pleasuring to 100 people, because that's the two things you got to do to become an RN. And then you lose it because you go online and talk shit about a politician you don't like. That is pure stupidity.
Yeah, that.
And at this point in our lives, everyone should know, don't do that. But they still do it.
You know, James,
That's the joke in the fire department,
Yeah.
that when a 20-year-old girl gives her 100th BJ, she gets her RN license.
Well, you know, she's a very good nurse.
Well, you've heard me go off about nurses, Tim, so I'll just leave it at that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. What's a bigger hell? What is a bigger hell? Is it the fat dispatcher that can't pass up black dick, or is it a fucking tatted up nurse?
Oh man. See, the thing is, Bruce, both of the things you described are 100% real things.
I'll say the biggest hoe was the one from Tennessee that was sleeping with half the precinct.
Oh, Megan.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, that's weird though, because where I worked, all of the female cops were sleeping with firefighters.
Yeah, that's typically how it works. The firefighter dudes fuck the cop chicks.
Yeah.
Because they
And the
don't
cops don't like it,
fraternize.
but screw them. But the cops got their own groupies too. They hang out at the cop bar with the cop groupies.
They're the badge bunnies, you know.
Yeah, badge bunnies. And then the ER nurses and the dispatchers and the female cops are generally shagging a firefighter, whether they're married or not, on either end. And that's just my experience in the field. You know, I didn't partake because I'm a good boy. But I might be one of two or three who didn't. You know what I mean?
You know, I got pushed out of fucking Decatur PD. I was in the final stage of the interview process, and I nuked myself. I did my internship. I got an A on the internship. One of the first guys in like 7 years to do that in 2006.
Mhm.
I had a B average. I never bought a book. Me and my buddies would go to IHOP after every fucking night we had class. We'd go fucking trade information. We'd sit there at IHOP, do our fucking thesis, do our notes and papers, and then cops would come into IHOP, see how we're doing, and give us the answers if we didn't already have them surmised. And then that's how we did it. That's how I had to be average. I was a Mason, 3rd degree. Not exactly a great thing, but at the time it seemed like a good idea. I don't have a problem with the lower lodge levels, the upper lodge levels. I don't like Albert Pike. I'll just say that. Okay. Now that I said that, I was going to be just instantly push button made a cop in Decatur, Illinois. But I had a blog on oneup.com, and I quoted Jesse Jackson as he was overheard at the phone booth, the phones at a Holiday Inn after 7 young dumb fucks got into a near riot fight at a Eisenhower or Stephen Decatur high school football game. And Jesse Jackson came to town with a bunch of other Rainbow Push people, and they fucking tore up the town and ruined a lot of people's livelihoods for a month. One of those 7 kids is now a dean of minority studies at Richland. So I guess the white guys aren't going to have an easy time with him over there. At the interview, they already saw my blog. They don't like me. The human resource lady has made it her mission to make sure I don't get push buttoned in. And the Masons are really stepping on her to push me in. And they ask the killer question, Bruce or Steven, you are at a get-together off hours at your shift lieutenant's house with the other cops. You excuse yourself to go to the bathroom, and you open a door, and the chief of police, or excuse me, the wife of the chief of the police and one of the shift leads is in there with a mirror and some booger sugar on it. They didn't say that. What do you do? And I looked over at the human resource lady who's already fucking trying to erase me out of there. And I said, do you want the city to function, or do you want to look good because you have a newspaper article how one of the people in the city and the high brass of the police gets fucking pushed out of his job, and a wife ruins her relationship with another officer? You want to destroy the police department? Or do you want to fucking have a functioning society tomorrow? Well, you don't see no badge on me.
That's the wrong question. They want you to rat. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, HR always wants you to rat. Before you can even go to Fire Academy, you have to take a test that has like 100 questions very similar to that. And some of them are really kind of stupid, like you're sitting at the table after, on shift, and you're eating macaroni and cheese, and one of the guys on your shift puts ketchup on his mac and cheese, and the other guy starts making fun of him. And what do? And then it'll give you like 5 choices. And you have to pass that personality test before you can even be considered to be accepted into Academy. And it's full of stuff like that. It's like, you walk out into the bay and one of the guys on your shift is doing his personal laundry in the fire department's laundry machine. What do? And it turns out the correct answer for every one of those questions is whatever protects your buddy. Like at no point is the correct answer, go to the chief. And I went with my heart on that. Like the guy who was doing the laundry, I said, hey, bro, if you need to, you can come by my house and do your laundry so you don't get in trouble, right? Correct answer. The guy who was making fun of the air guy for putting ketchup on his mac and cheese, I chose hey, bro, leave the guy alone, He's eating mac and cheese. What the fuck, right? Correct answer. So out of, I think, a couple hundred people who sat for that test, I was one of the 50 that got picked.
And you did become a badge firefighter. Awesome.
Yeah, I still got my badge. I still got my dress uniform. But and you've seen over there, I got my helmet hanging on the wall.
Yay.
But so I don't know about how the cop thing worked, but how the fire academy worked, not the fire department. Because in the fire department, the city literally tried to turn everybody against everybody because HR is a bunch of freaking scumbags. But to actually get into the academy, you had to show that
You wouldn't
you were
rat
going
out
to
your
protect
buddy.
your buddy. You were going to have your
That's right.
crew.
I think that's the right way, because especially if they're trying to do that in the, get you to basically backstab your buddy. I think it's best to try to get you to not backstab your buddy early on.
And then, like, when you go to your first meeting, when they hire you, the HR person says, look, they're going to try and talk you into joining the union, but you don't have to. So don't let them force you to. And I was like, okay, and immediately joined the union, which pissed HR off. Because if you're not a member of the union, the union does not protect you. And the problem with being a firefighter is if anything happens at all, like a complaint or anything, the first thing the city will do every time is fire you.
Oh, man.
And then if you're a member of the union will lawyer up unless you did something really bad and will get your job back. And you'll get all your back pay and everything. And, you'll tell HR to go fuck themselves and you'll be good, right? So HR doesn't want you to join the union, and they always will try and talk you out of it. But see, I was smart.
Yeah.
Now, there were a couple guys later on that joined that didn't join the union. And because officers can't be members of the union either, like, chiefs and what, those guys ended up getting promoted way faster than they should have because they basically were just sucking HR and the administration's ass nonstop. But like me, that just ain't who I am, right? So those guys got a reputation for being untrustworthy buddy fuckers, and I got a reputation for running my mouth too much and sharing opinions that no one really wanted to hear. Not the other firefighters, the actual administration. Because I wasn't afraid of them. You know what I mean? Because I knew I was straight. I didn't break any rules. I had all kinds of awards. Yeah, if somebody come in there talking shit, I would be like, nope. And they did not like that because they want to be in charge. Weird, right?
It's fucking sad, man. I despise big companies and big organizations. I work for just one dude and his wife. Now, mind you, today I fucked up and I was at a dead stop. You know what a zipper merge is?
Yes.
Okay, so we're in one lane of traffic and we got traffic coming in on I-35 from a busy road. So we're all stopped waiting our turn to go. He goes, then I go, that lane goes, this lane goes, this lane goes, that lane. It's supposed to alternate.
Right.
Some stupid twat. I got this on dash cam. I don't know if it's saved or not, but it's on dash cam. She decides that she's going to follow the guy right in front of her as I'm accelerating, and I get on the horn and I start to brake. I'm only doing like 3 miles an hour, but 4,500 gallons still takes more time to stop than it does to get going.
Yeah.
And I hit her. Possibly I hit her. I didn't feel it, and I didn't see her vehicle move. But she stops in the middle of the roadway, and then she's like, "You hit me." I said, "I don't really believe I did, but I think you're a goddamn idiot." And then she gets up on my truck. I'm like, "Well, you're not injured." She's like, "I had my turn signal on." I said, "You're a dumb cunt, aren't you?" And she's like, "What?" And I said, "Get the fuck off my truck. I'm going to." She's like, "I had my signal on." And I said, It's a fucking zipper merge, and you don't understand what that is. Why do you have your license? Get the fuck off my truck. And she's like, I had my jersey on. And then she blazes out of there. I can't even see her fucking license because I've got a big fucking Peterbilt nose.
Yeah.
And she's got a low riding truck. And by the time she gets far enough away, I can't see what it is because it's fucking dark. And we're having twilight. So I got to speed up, and I'm going through the gears. After I get about 60 miles per hour, which is a mile down the road, I see her. So I start signaling to get over. So maybe I can talk to Twatzilla and see what the fuck her problem is and look at the damage myself. And instead, she gets back on the road acting like a fool. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm just going to go to the dump. If she follows me there, great. Now look at it there. There's nowhere for me to pull over safely. The fucking concrete barriers have destroyed all my fucking shoulder. I cannot get pulled over safely. So I told the boss what's going on, and he's panicked all day. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know if they ever called. I talked to him at 12. He's like, as of right now, nobody's called me. I called the cops. I talked to my insurance. Nobody's logged anything. I'm like, it might happen tomorrow. I expect it tomorrow.
Hopefully it don't happen tomorrow.
Yeah, hope.
But there's not a single there's not a single mark on my bumper because it's a fucking iron cow catcher. I'll put the bumper on your Discord, and you can tell me if you see something other than rust and ugly orange.
Yeah, I also had my tanker, my CDLB with tanker qualification, because not that I ever drove a fire engine more than once in like training, maybe twice, but you had to have the tanker thing just in case, because the engines we had 500 gallons of water in them.
Mm-hmm.
And the old ones did not have baffles. The newer Pierce come with baffled tanks, which are good because, you know, they don't sling you around like the old ones do. But even with the baffled tank, that's a lot of weight. You figure water is 8.8 pounds a gallon. So multiply that by 500 on top of the truck itself, and that's what you're playing with. So, yeah.
Okay, maybe I do have some of that orange from her truck on my bumper. That's what I'm seeing.
What?
So I might have hit her truck because I got a little bit of orange on my bumper, or brighter orange, yellow on my bumper. But when I first took that photo at like 7 in the morning, the sun hadn't fully came out of the clouds yet. And that could be reflection from the flash. I don't know.
Well, let's just hope not.
Yeah.
So Pathfinder and you, yeah.
Not compatible.
And yet, as long as I've known you, that's just what you've played.
I liked the core game. The core book, great. Absolutely wonderful. Not a lot of room for wiggle. And if you ignore all the other hardcovers, it's great. Unfortunately, you have these dumbass players like, oh, I want the new core rule. I want the new core rules with the hardcovers. Blah, 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 blah.
Have you ever played Pathfinder 2nd Edition?
It's horrible.
It's horrible?
It is. It's got the same idea as First Ed, where it throws everything out there for the players to copy, and the Hero Labs is the same tired bullshit. The problem I have with 2nd Edition is it's a Final Fantasy clone, where you'll get a game, or you'll get a character, and he does one thing really good, and so you bind that to your X on your controller. And then when combat happens, you just spam X.
Okay.
It has, as a GM, there's a really neat combat encounter maker, but everybody that I know that plays that, the players know all this stuff too. It's player facing, And so if you're trying to make an encounter harder, they start to yelp a bit because like, hey, we're only level 5. You're giving us a level 8 encounter. This isn't fair. What?
Life
Hey,
isn't fair. We're a
yeah.
helmet.
What part of that? It was crazy. So
For the experienced
Yeah.
player, that would be a time of we better run away.
yeah, whatever happened to running away? Running away used to be like the thing in these games.
Well, I'm going to quote a guy who I don't even remember his name, and I should, so that I can give him credit for the quoting. Unfortunately, this guy, he seems to only want to play the Apocalypse system, but he made a good video about modern D&D and Pathfinder years ago. And he's the first one I heard say that modern day role players don't play their character. They let the player character sheet play the character.
Yeah.
Because they don't actually have to think about anything. When they walk into a room, they don't have to think. They just have to roll a perception check.
I roll a perception check. What do I see?
And so it's like you're not actually playing the game. Your character sheet is the one that's doing everything. And you're just kind of, there for the ride, right? Now, while I question his taste in role-playing games, because like I said, he likes Powered by the Apocalypse, he's 100% right about that particular issue. That it is kind of like, if you can just look at your character sheet to roll something and never have to actually explain what your character's doing, then I just don't get what the point of any of it would be. And that's kind of what he said. And I agree with him 100%.
I completely agree with that as well. I think that's the entire fucking new modern or fancy big corporate fantasy RPG games and big corporate gaming in general.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks your heart when you fucking start reading that, and then you start remembering games back when you were playing it when you were 12 and 13, and you're stumbling through the game blind, but you had a hell of a lot more fun.
Well, back in the old days, you still had characters who could roll die to detect a trap, but they were expected to kind of tell you what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then, depending on how they described what they were doing, you would determine whether or not they could even roll.
Yep.
So that's where you get the difference between character skill and player skill. Like the character might have all kinds of skill, the player might not know anything. And in reverse, you could run into a player who absolutely is just a good player. They understand what they need to be doing and how to actually use whatever limited powers their character has to accomplish whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. And so that's, I think, the biggest problem with new games is they take away any concept of the player actually being a better player.
Well,
now if I'm running, it doesn't do that.
No,
but because it's basically just a cloned OD&D upgraded. But so many games, I mean, you look at the character sheet, and 3rd edition started it. When you look at the character sheet and you got a skill list, right? And 2 things happened. 1, the players rely on their skills for everything. And 2, they stop trying to do anything that they don't have a skill in. Even though technically they can try all kinds of shit. But because it's not written on their character sheet, they don't try it.
Like one thing I've learned.
Kind of like they're just not even playing the game anymore. Or as Shauner would say, they're just basically living, breathing die rollers. But they don't actually have any sort of personal, like,
agency.
Agency.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of ways, Sir Shauner was 100% correct on that.
Yep.
And a lot of games promote that.
One thing I found out learned from my RuneQuest game was to actually always look for like wires, because that's one way to find traps. A lot of tripwire traps, and one thing you can do if you do find a tripwire trap is disarm it using a knife.
In theory, you could just tie like a rope or ribbon around it
True.
and let it stay. Like take a 6-inch piece of colorful ribbon and tie around the wire so that people see it, and then don't step on this. And I learned that in the Army. That's what you do in the Army.
That's fair.
If you're like out on a patrol through dense vegetation, you find a tripwire, you don't try to disarm that shit. You mark
No, you just mark it and just move on.
and move on, you know.
Which is fair. I should have thought about that. Me, I'd like throwing knives to disarm it.
No, you thought about what you thought about, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's the point of a role-playing game.
Yeah.
Is you think, you come up with an idea you think will work, and you do that thing. But like with a lot of modern role-playing games, you wouldn't have to think. You would just say, well, now I'm going to roll this to see if this happens. And I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that. You know, so like in my game, yes, I've got 2 thieves at the table, thief classes, and they both have a whatever. In the game's weird, it uses die 12s for thief abilities.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, but I think the guy who wrote the game felt sorry for the poor old die 12, because you know it never gets him up.
Wait,
That is fair.
wait, what game is that? Horde Wars?
No, Hyperborea.
It's
Okay.
either you use a D6 or percentiles. That's the thing I know most.
Right. In Hyperborea, the thief skills and the turning table are all on die 12s. And the assassination table is on a die 20. And then your attribute checks are on a die 6, but your exceptional attribute checks are on a percentile. And then your saving throw, you only have one number, but then, so basically at first level, you got a 16 save, right? But then it has like the list, poison, sorcery, whatever. And depending on your class, you get +2 in some of them. And as you level up, you get bonuses to your save, or the save goes down. I think, no, the save goes down, because right now a lot of the characters got like a 15 base save. And then instead of worrying about THAC0, you have fighting ability. So if you
What?
oh, Condor just said something. Yeah, maybe trust issues. I don't know about the scamming. I just heard what I heard. But hey, I wish you not but the best of luck, Condor. You know, I'm not looking to fight with anybody. But so it's all the
They'll do
same
a unit
mechanics.
in 5 minutes.
It's all the same mechanics as you find in OD&D and AD&D, except situated maybe a little different and made a little simpler. So it just works, you know. Like when you write down your character's attack thing, your THAC0 basically, right? That never changes. But what does change is your fighting ability. If you're a fighter, it goes up by 1 every time you level, right? So when you're trying to attack something, if on the weird, you know, whatever the DM actually tells you what the thing's armor class is, you roll a die 20, you add your attack modifier, which is your fighting ability plus magic plus strength or dex, depending, right? And if it beats the number on the armor class, you hit. You see how simple that is?
Yeah.
And if you want to get really crazy on the character sheet, you can write down the weapon you're using and just take all of the your fighting ability, the magic of your sword, and your attribute bonus, and add them. And then under attack bonus, just write it down behind the weapon. So battle axe +7 attack bonus. And then every time you attack with your battle axe, you roll a die 20 and add 7. If that number is greater than whatever. See, me, I'm kind of an ass. I don't tell the players what the armor class of anything is. I describe the armor it's wearing, though. And that means good players
Well, get an
who have
idea.
an idea. Huh?
At least have an idea of what the armor class is.
Right. If they're fighting an orc and the orc's wearing like studded leather, they got an idea of what they're looking at, But I don't come right out and say, okay, you're attacking armor class 7. Because I don't know why. Because I never have.
Don't need to.
I think
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, the players figure it out. They roll to attack, and if they roll high enough, they hit. And if they don't roll high enough, they don't hit. And it's all good in the hood from there, But yeah. So I need to stop, oh man. Or do I need to stop? I don't think I do need to stop. That game is just, I'm just beside myself with how much fun.
How much fun you having? That's what I'm like with Dragon Slayer right now.
Because I don't remember the last time I ever ran a game and just had this much fun. And the players are loving it. And it's just it's so weird, right? But then I feel bad, if I talk too much about it, because I'm not trying to push it. I'm not a shill. Jeff Tudlarian, or whatever his name is, has never even spoken to me. I've never spoken to him. I don't get free products. Unlike
does he get
my boy Double D, that makes me jealous because the Jeff Tudlarian or whatever gave him a hat.
Does Jeff Tudlarian get political or no?
He does not. The very few times he said anything political, he seemed to be more conservative leaning, but not in your face.
Okay.
And his game is 100%. I can tell you right now, Jeff's game would never muster past White Wolf's sensitivity readers. Because it's full of tits. And it's full of hookers and prostitutes and slaves and orcs are always evil, not sometimes, but all the time, and all that shit. You know what I mean? So you know how that one asshole was talking about, those older games would never make it past our sensitivity readers, right? Yeah, Jeff's game wouldn't either. They would kick that shit back so quick because, it does all the things old school D&D does. It says, yes, this is an orc. Orcs are produced when a devil swine reproduces with a human woman. That's why they're pig-faced. And they are evil because they're half demons. And that's just how it is. And it's not going to change, right? And, all of that stuff. And you can only play a human. And I mean, you can play any kind of human though. So if you wanted to play a Moor or a Berber, you could. There is the Lemurians, and they do have very dark skin, but they have almost Asian features to go with their very dark skin.
I'm going to play Celt.
You can play a Celt, which is just a Celt. You can play a Roman, So yeah, a lot of stuff he does would not fly. He calls the people who live in the frozen north Eskimo. Now, apparently Canadians get really mad at that word because they say it's a slur. But people who's lived in Alaska laugh because, we've hung out with those people and they called themselves Eskimo. Until you got to know them, and then they might tell you what their actual tribe is. And if you want to know more about that, would you like to know more? Talk to Hungar. He dated one. To me, she just smelled like rancid fish all the time. But, my brother apparently liked that. So, okay.
I don't know if I'd like that. No, thanks.
Well, the ones that actually live out on the ice and stuff, they don't bathe as much as you might wish they did.
I know, but it's just like, yeah, some people can stand that. I can't. Sorry.
But they are cuties.
That's fair. I don't think I could get past the smell.
I was in my teen years, and I can tell you the ones that were in my age range were little cutie pies. They were. But
that's fair. I just
you got to get used to the fact that they might go 3 weeks without ever bathing.
I don't think I could.
Between baths, they might go 3 weeks between bathing. Yeah. But if you're okay with that, I mean, they don't. They definitely aren't worried about preserving their virginity for marriage or anything like that. They're pretty open-minded. So, yeah.
All right, James. It is almost 6 o'clock my time.
Yep, it's getting there.
Yeah, I gotta pass the fuck out. That way the city can have its sewage and sanitation services fully staffed tonight.
I think I'm gonna have to go.
Well, let me show you this before you go, real quick. I'm just painting one thing.
Looking pretty good.
That is really nice. That's really nice.
Well, I'm going to probably do a wash on the metal legs, obviously. And then I'm going to paint some of the panels white. And the panels I paint white, I'm going to put my purple bird on. So that everybody knows this is House Mary.
Free World
League.
Yeah.
But I used a kind of metallic purple.
If I played BattleTech, I'd probably go with Free Worlds League. I like their design.
Hell yeah. Free Worlds League is the best. Plus, then you could hang out with me and Razor Fist.
Fair.
Yeah, I heard the other week that Razor Fist was talking some mad props about you.
Me and Razor Fist are Free Worlds League brothers. And people who haven't played BattleTech since like the 80s and 90s will never understand. But if you have played BattleTech for that long, you will understand. When you pick your successor house, that's it. For most people. And you will be loyal to that successor house for pretty much the rest of the time you play the game.
Now, James, would it allow for like custom minor houses?
Yeah, you can do anything you want with the game.
Okay.
I mean, but I'm just saying those of us who are old school 30-25 succession war guys, like my brother is House Draconis till death.
Just so you know, I ate with you at 7 o'clock.
Oh, great. I'm glad you were hungry.
I was hungry.
Because
good.
One thing I would do is actually make a black and red group with the scorpion tail as their logo.
Yeah, the House of Cain.
Yeah.
Actually, there's probably a mercenary unit that already does that, but
probably.
But I'll catch you guys later. Bruce, sleep well. I hope everything works out. Good talking to you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. You have a good night, my friends.
You too.